This is a Danger Entertainment podcast. DangerEntertainment.net. Danger Entertainment Podcast Network.
Please note that any comments, jokes, questions, maybe anything that we say on the History of Bad Ideas is all in good fun. And remember, we insult everybody. Our thoughts, opinions, questions, anything else, actions that we do on the show do not reflect any of our employers, organizations, advertisers, or anyone else that is associated with the History of Bad Ideas. And remember, at the end of the day, it's just a joke.
It's about comic books and movies, growing up with Rokusuki. Superman before Zack Snyder ruined him. Michael Keaton was the best Batman, while Christian Bale was just deadpan. No one remembers the other ones. Princess Leia in bikinis and Transformer Lamborghinis. Please don't let Shia LaBeouf ever act again.
Please, God, no.
Remembering Tales from the Crypt, back when Michael Bay wrote good scripts.
He wrote
And all
scripts.
right here is no mystery, 'cause it's the history of bad.
It's bad.
It's the history of bad.
So bad.
It's the history of bad ideas. It's the history of bad.
It's bad.
It's the history of bad.
So bad.
It's the history of bad ideas.
Podcast.
Welcome to the History of Bad Ideas, episode number 292. I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
Blake.
And Jim is tired from golf.
I thought the reason you golf is so you wouldn't get tired, but you can still claim to play a sport.
Oh, sport.
I can only last 9 holes before I'm too drunk.
That's what she said.
Or I get thrown off the course and I can't drive the cart anymore.
Oh, man.
Well, I only golf. If I do golf, I only golf till I hit par and then I leave the course. 'Cause I only pay for whatever how many strokes it is. So
I like that. You pay by the stroke. I like that. Kind of like some women I know. Yeah.
And pay by the stroke.
all right, we're putting that down for title.
And
Well, that's the title
And if
already.
it's been a couple of weeks, it's not a lot of strokes. It's a cheap date. Literally.
Now I got it.
There
now
you
I
go.
got it. Now I got it.
Uh-huh.
Do you got it?
You got it?
You got it?
You got it.
I got it.
What'd you get?
What'd you get?
Herpes.
Second time?
Sure.
How many times?
I mean, once you have herpes, you pretty much always have herpes.
But there's medicine to cure it.
No, there's medicines to treat it, not
Oh.
to cure it.
Oh.
Herpes is a virus. Can't cure viruses.
You can in Pandemic.
I didn't play any Pandemic.
The board game.
Yeah. Well, you see, you find a vaccination to prevent people from getting the disease. is
Oh,
what you're
whoa,
doing.
whoa, 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 whoa. That calls autism.
Yeah, it's still,
Down the hall.
even if it does, it's still better than
Oh, dear
death.
God. Oh, God.
I mean, if your alternative is death, okay.
Dr. Jenny McCarthy taught me a lot of things. Never marry the lesser Wahlberg. That's what she taught me.
Well, there are lesser than Donnie.
Who?
The one from Wahlburgers TV show.
Oh, the other guy. Yeah, the guy.
I don't even know his name.
I finally saw Wahlburgers speak of that like 2 weeks ago, one episode. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is awful. Why am I watching this?
I mean, there's more than 2 Wahlburgers?
There's like 6.
I mean, 2 Wahlbergs?
I think there's like 6.
Really?
Yeah, there's.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I think there's even more than the 3 boys.
I mean, they
and
could have
there's
started their own
sisters, and they could
Brady Bunch Wahlburger
They
band?
probably could have,
Oh, my God. Dancing boy troupe?
except like Donnie and Marky had the looks. I suppose the other Wahlberg
Had real talent?
he didn't get the looks.
Didn't get anything?
He got. He kind of has the looks like a potato.
Burger flipper? Burger flipper extraordinaire?
I mean, he's probably more talented than just a burger flipper, but
Or a potato.
he kind of looks like a potato.
Potato.
Small potatoes. Potatoes with ears.
Mash it, bake it, put it.
Has
in
anybody
a stew.
had a Wahlburger?
No.
Jim has. He's not here though.
Would you
So fuck
willingly buy a Wahlburger if it was there? If you're walking by, it's like, oh, hey, you know what? I'm going to buy a Wahlburger for shits and giggles.
I would.
Sober?
Yeah, I would.
sober.
If the price wasn't ungodly ridiculous.
Yeah, there's a place in downtown Cincinnati. I have to get
If it's not like Five Guys Burger and Fries expensive.
Oh, no.
Five Guys ain't expensive.
Five Guys
it
isn't
is.
too bad.
Yeah, it is. For a burger, it's very expensive.
Oh my God, have you been to burger places other than McDonald's lately?
There's a restaurant called Burger
If
Fi.
you're paying like
Yeah.
under $8 for a burger, you're getting a good deal for a burger.
What?
There's a place downtown that's called Burger Fi, and it's good burgers, but they're like $9.95 per burger.
That's
I'm
too
like,
much.
no.
You know
I've
what
been there
else?
once.
You know what else is a good burger place downtown?
What's that?
Wahlburgers.
Oh, that is downtown.
So you've been there.
No, I haven't.
You're going off of what Jim says.
Jim's been there. The Dit Man, I think, has been there.
Yeah.
Well, that man.
The Gimp. I think the Gimp might have eaten there.
The dip, don't talk about the Dip Man because him and Blake are in contract negotiations with 98.9.
Blake and the Dip Man. Dip Man wants more money.
He's got a kid now, so he needs more money.
He's got more
you want more?
responsibility.
How selfish of him.
Needs to be paid more.
Well, I thought you'd want more money because you just had to pay for a wedding. Come on.
Well, not all of it. I paid for the open bar. I walked around all night going, "You better drink that. Don't finish that. What are you putting that down? Finish that drink.
So
Don't leave your drinks unattended.
Don't leave it unattended."
one of our fans, Kevin at Cincy Explorer, he stalked me, and he gave us a new Oreo challenge. Just to let you guys know, Oreo thins. We don't do many thins around here. It's latte cream. So every couple weeks we do an Oreo challenge.
I
See,
love me some lattes.
I prefer the thins, to be brutally honest.
Why?
One nice bite. It's not too thick or heavy in while you're chewing it.
You better give me some of them thins.
The thins are good. I'm just worried about, not being a coffee drinker or liking the taste of coffee, how I will like.
These have been sitting here next to me the last 10 minutes, and the smell is just amazing.
Oh, God, it
Well,
smells
that's because
like
Blake already broke into them.
an
He did.
espresso. I cheated.
You did.
They're really good.
So we do appreciate that from Kevin. If you guys have Oreos that you want to send us unopened, please let us know. Get in contact with us. There's pistachio, which we're going to have to do when Jim comes back in 2 weeks.
I do like pistachios. All right, here we go. Latte, thin.
Latte, Oreos.
I
Go ahead,
love me
Jeff.
some latte and espresso. These smell really good.
They do smell good.
And they taste really
They
good.
smell like coffee, so that's not a good smell.
Ooh, they smell so good. Oh, what do you think? Blake, you like them.
Hell yeah.
Jeff?
I'm not getting much of a taste at all.
Well, that's because they're thin.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm getting the taste of the cookie, but that's incredibly subtle flavor for the latte, so
It is, but
that's not bad at all.
it's pretty
They
good.
smell really good.
The smell
And
is
they taste
amazing.
good too.
So just buy the Oreo lattes and just smell them. If you're a coffee drinker, you will love them.
Me likey.
These are only 140 calories for 4 cookies.
Thank goodness.
2 grams of fat and 12 total grams of sugar. So that's not as
Now, granted,
bad.
you got to eat twice as many thins as regulars.
Correct. So
but-
you really don't.
Pretty much.
It's a lot better than our peanut butter ones from a couple weeks ago. That I think we all gained about 800 calories that night.
Oh, more than that.
Yeah, those were some good good calories though.
All right,
Can you
here's
hear me
cookie
chewing
number
in those headphones?
No, I can't.
Oh,
Okay.
damn it.
Can't. The thin. It's because they're thin.
Because of
two. They're
thin.
so thin you can't even hear
I
the
can't make the
chewing.
big super crunches.
Those are good. They're not overpowering. You are correct, Jeff. I like that. Do you like them?
Yeah,
Just put it in your mouth halfway and then breathe through your mouth.
it's not a flavor I would
tastes so good.
go out of my way to get. I mean, I've had the thin ones before. Well, you
Yeah.
probably won't like them because, if I remember correctly, you do not like coconut.
No.
But the coconut thins, love those.
Gross.
We were at a family get together this past weekend, and
So I saw.
yeah, and
You were in
funny-
your natural position.
I was. I
In
was
a
not.
couch taking a nap.
I was just closing my eyes, resting.
Hey,
Sure.
I looked at the time that was sent. It was nap time.
Thank you.
So,
But it was on the other side of my family, my dad's side, and we don't see them as often. I will say, I'm a little scared. A lot of people over there listen to our podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They knew what you were referring to.
Yeah. And then it became a big discussion about what Oreos are good and what Oreos aren't. My aunt, God bless her, I love her. She's like, oh, yeah, we listened to your podcast, a couple episodes on the way down for vacation on our drive.
Oh, shit.
To which my uncle said, I'm not going to tell your mom what you said about her cooking. Thank you. She's a good baker.
You know the good thing about this big family get-togethers?
Uh-huh.
They're a good reminder of why I don't see some people for very long periods of time.
I try not to go to many get-togethers at all of anything.
This is why I don't come to these things. This is why I'm related to you and don't show up.
Well, then I found out that my one cousin is into tabletop games. So then I could spurred like a 30-minute conversation of tabletops.
Of good ones and which ones to play.
Yeah, because her and her husband are just getting into it with their 6-year-old daughter.
Okay.
So I was giving them some some good games, and that was good time.
Here's a burrito. Throw it.
Throw burrito.
No, that's a real burrito.
My review's up on nerdly.co.uk. Go take a look at it.
For what game?
Throw burrito.
It was there at Gen Con this past weekend.
Was it?
Yes,
Did
it
you talk
was.
to them?
Did you throw a burrito?
No, I just looked at it and said, oh, yeah, Jason. He wrote a review on nerdly.co.uk over and over again to the strangers that walked by. I said, oh, look, throw a burrito.
And the guys that throw burrito were like, can you please move, sir?
But I'm talking about a review of your game on nerdly.co.uk.
I was wondering why I was escorted out of the exhibit hall.
He was pelted with burritos. No!
Those aren't burritos.
Not on salted pretzel night. So how was Gen Con?
Woo, doggy.
First off, thanks to Gen Con for giving you a press pass.
Yes, thank you, Gen Con. It was, again, another wonderful 3-4 day experience. Well, actually 3 days because I didn't stay for Sunday.
Right.
But it was very good. I usually go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I did do a little posting, a little bit on our Facebook site. Not much, but I did a little posting because I'm too busy otherwise.
You posted stuff. There's I saw the book you got.
That was awesome. There's a story behind that too. It's pretty cool.
There's a story for you?
Where do I begin?
Story time. Story time.
I'll try to keep it under 45 minutes.
Story time.
Or actually, I'll try and keep it under 30 minutes.
Please do, because we got a draft day tonight.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Good
we
job
do.
looking at the outline.
Yeah, thank you. Woo. I'll get to that later. No, but anyways, very good 3 days at Gen Con. I started off. This year, I actually went to more seminars than I actually did playing any games, and it was actually kind of interesting.
I like seminars at the.
I found them very
conventions.
educational, and I'll get into that. I have a new best friend. He doesn't know it yet, but he will soon.
Until he gets a restraining order on you.
Well, then I know it's official. No, then
I have his signature.
Is it Kristen Bell?
Ooh, no, Kristen was not there this year.
Aw.
I think she's avoiding me.
I probably would too.
Jason C. Brown, our director number 2 from Drunk History.
That's right.
Yeah, he wasn't there either.
Oh.
And he hasn't come through on his Kristen Bell promises to me yet.
I wonder why.
But that's okay. But as long as he hooks me up with Summer, I'll forgive him. Just for an interview. That's all I need.
Okay, what else you got?
No, but seriously. All right, you know how these stories start. Don't distract me. No, but anyways, it was a very good time. So, again, for another record year in a row, the total attendance for Gen Con has gone up. They had over almost 20,000 ticketed events this year, and that's just ticketed events. These are events that you actually get tickets to and go to and participate in the convention center, the Lucas Oil Stadium where the Indianapolis Colts play. They've completely flooded that now, along to all the hotels in downtown. So almost 20,000 ticketed events. That's just ticketed events. Now I'm not talking about when I would stumble home to my, stumble out of my Uber into my hotel. There are people playing games in the lobby, and I was like 15, 16 miles south of the city this year. And of course, when I would go eat breakfast, not including all the people playing games at breakfast in my hotel before I stumbled into my Uber, to go back to Gen Con. So they've had record number of ticketed games, again, for the X number year straight in a row of, attendance. And I knew I was in trouble when I usually drive up on Thursday mornings and I get to parking, and I was already having trouble getting some parking with the traffic.
Well, they were doing a lot of construction, too.
Well, I avoided the construction. I'm talking about when you get there, I usually can find a good place to park. But this year I had some traffic and a little bit of difficulty, and I knew I was in trouble. And I think they actually sold out on the Saturday badges. Well, they sold out on the 4-day badges, and then they sold out on the Saturday badges only, I think, ahead of time, in which they were actually anticipating, the actual selling the day of, but they were out days before. So if you were just some schmuck who decided to roll in, you're pretty much SOL. You couldn't get into the exhibit halls or do anything, but you could walk around and people watch, which is half the fun.
Yes, it is.
So I got in Thursday morning. I started off with a seminar about some people that run Dungeon Master games. It was kind of interesting. I think maybe I still learned a thing or two from it, but I think it was more geared towards people for the first time running games and all that kind of stuff. But it was pretty neat. And then I went to my second seminar, which was before my fun Bourbon Trail trip. So I went to this other seminar. It's called Theory of Encounter, Encounter Theory for Adventures 101. And it was given by this guy who is actually a professor and a freelance writer and a gamer, basically talking about, hey, a lot of these models, whatever game you play, D&D, Pathfinder, these other role RPGs, Werewolf, Vampire, Masquerade, all this kind of stuff. He goes, there really isn't any real organized school, for writing these games and encounters. And essentially the fallback is that a lot of these people that write these professional games and RPGs and for these tabletops is basically they fall back on their literary backgrounds and try to go and, push these, literary scenarios on people and stuff. And they forget what the essence of, the whole, RPG gaming is. Number one, your players, open world. Your gamers never really do what you think they're going to do.
Oh no! It's as a gamer, you purposely don't follow the adventure hooks sometimes,
or sometimes you think they will or won't, and you got something in your back pocket, and then you're like, well, where in the hell? Where did that come from? And that's what they do. So he basically went into kind of like his little encounter theory, what's necessary, and turns out he's got a book that's on sale at Drive-Thru, RPG.
RPG, oh, cool.
So anyways, the gentleman's name is Ben Riggs. He's out of Wisconsin. And he's talking about this Encounter Theory 101. He's got this book on Drive-Thru RPG. And he's talking about RPGs, and he talks about, hey, what he considers the 3 best games in the industry. And one of them was Ravenloft. The other one was the Dracula? I forget. The Dracula Chronicles or something like that. It's kind of like a modern game where
You're a vampire.
Or are you fighting vampires?
Yeah, no. You're like a spy for the U.S. government, and you realize that Dracula is real.
Okay.
And he knows that you found out that he's real, and now you got to stop him from killing you. And then another one from Legend of the Five Rings, City of Lies. And he talks about, these are the 3 best RPG games ever, and he gives his reasons why and all that kind of stuff, because you are given a sandbox, but you're given a limited sandbox. So the players and the characters can go do what they want, but they're within the guidelines of the sandbox. There's a wall of the sandbox, essentially. Like, for example, Ravenloft, you go into Bavaria, you go into Barovia, and you pass into this realm, and you can never get out of Barovia until you solve, the end game. And the same thing with
so it's an escape room.
Well, yeah, you think about it, it's kind of like an escape room for RPGs, more or less. And so while he was talking about this, and I was sitting there shaking my head, going, "Yeah, you know what? That makes an awful lot of sense. I kind of like it." He's like, every reason for an encounter, you have to have a reason for every encounter, and every encounter really should kind of have like a lead. And think of the confines as your typical dungeon trope. You just go in the front door of the dungeon. You can go left or right, but ultimately, there's only so much of the dungeon you can go to. It's within those confines, and it's kind of like in theory, that's how you should be running the game. So you still give the players, the ability to choose left, right, or straight, but it's still within the confines of, the walls of this dungeon, more or less.
Is there Ents?
If you want there to be Ents, Jason, you can have Ents.
Okay,
Yes,
I'm
that's
just asking.
correct. So while he was talking about all this kind of stuff, what endeared him to me more was the fact he said, "Hey, I have these other seminars coming up if you want to come, and one is why TSR failed." And I went, "Ooh, yes, I like the history of TSR and D&D,
What
which
is
I've talked
TSR?
about before."
TSR was the company that originally published D&D, the creators
Oh, okay.
of
Gary
Created by
Gygax,
Gary Gygax.
Tactical Study Rules.
Okay.
So TSR was synonymous with Dungeons and Dragons for like 20 plus years, and it was a $40 million company that went ass up basically. And you're like, how did you? It's a great business model case study. How do you fuck up a $40 million business that you had the monopoly on?
Kind of like
You know.
WCW and wrestling.
Yeah, pretty much. If you want to do with that, except there's ents in this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
there's
there
no
ants in your wrestling?
There's no ents in your wrestling.
Kevin Nash was pretty tall.
Yeah, but not an ant.
Well, there's
He moved like an Ent.
Well, there were guys that would carry around lumber.
Oh,
But yeah.
Hacksaw.
Yeah, there you go. So he's like, hey, I got this episode, TSR, why it failed, and then he talks about, the creation of Third Edition Dungeons and Dragons, the classic, and I was like, oh man, this guy, TSR, I love history and, about that history, and he's talking about the creation of Third Edition, which I think is awesome, in which he said, based this gem creation of Third Edition, and then he talks about TSR West, which you guys may be more interested in. TSR West was a division of TSR D&D that went out to California.
Television and movie.
Yes,
deals
for
they're
television
trying to do.
movies, more specifically, comic books. Right. So we are a podcast where a lot of people are interested in comic books, and so I'd be interested to hear, those independent, comic book folk that we got with, Big Dev and et cetera, with, Source Point Press and all. So he had these 3 other seminars to go to, and I said, I'm clearing my schedule. I'm going to these 3. So I did, and the history of TSR, it is pretty cool. I went to those seminars on Saturday. After his original seminar, I then went on a bourbon tour of Indianapolis and got drunk.
No.
In between stop 2 and 3, I fell asleep on the bus because I'm not used to doing hardcore spirits.
You're only 2 drinks into this?
The only 2, yeah, exactly. So, but I had a good time. It was awesome. I did meet other gamers, and what was really cool about it is basically just a bus full of other gamers, and the tour company that took you on the tour rented out a bus that was basically a party vehicle with no stripper pole in the middle, but it had all the lights and everything else in it. So we found it pretty interesting, but. So it was pretty cool. So we went to do the bourbon tour in Indianapolis, and I'm all liquored up, and I come back and finish that day there. And I'll go to, but I'll continue on with the Ben Riggs story. So he talks about this guy basically is doing what I want to do.
Okay.
If I had the free time.
Okay.
He's interviewing people in the industry and those back in TSR, and essentially doing kind of like a business model study, and he's writing about it, and he has a book that's in process, and he does a podcast that he talks about this stuff called Plot Points, and it's not just about history of TSR, but it's basically he gets like real people in the industry and other professors and so on. They'll talk about things like the effect of Franz Leiber on Ilmet and Lankmar, and the effect the influence on RPGs and swords and sorcery and all that kind of stuff, or basically doing interviews with people at TSR at the time, doing these background deals and et cetera, and basically finding out what happened, why did it fail, and all that. And it wasn't because, there was no market for it. I mean, TSR had the market cornered, basically. They were the big boys on the block, the 500-pound gorilla, always threatening to sue everybody, including Gary Gygax.
Yeah, when they
ran him out,
from
they basically
him, yes.
ran him out of the company and all that kind of stuff. So, and this talks about the lady that the lady that inherited or actually ended up running TSR was actually the Buck Rogers Harris and her brother, the
Buck
guy that
Rogers?
created Buck Rogers. Yeah,
Really?
that guy. Yeah, she was running TSR And she had her brother running TSR West, which was failed after 1 year.
Yeah, I did read something about the history of TSR
It was
West.
so it's real interesting. So he's done all these interviews, he's compiling them, he puts them in podcasts, and he's writing a book and all that kind of stuff. But I know, for example, a lot of our comic book folk. I know I've come full circle again. You know, TSR West. So basically, if you go back into the mid '80s, and you may remember this, being a comic book aficionado yourself,
Not in the mid-'80s.
DC Comics had the exclusive rights to Advanced Dungeons and Dragons with TSR.
Okay.
DC Comics was putting out Advanced Dungeons and Dragons comics, kind of like as they were putting out, their different, storylines and et cetera. And they were selling about 100,000, issues per print or whatever.
Okay.
I can't remember. It was essentially on the same par as Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
that they were
so-
selling these AD&D, Advanced Dungeons and Dragon comic books.
Now, were these DC created characters or were these licensed?
No, these were licensed from TSR.
TSR,
Yeah,
okay.
licensed from D&D. So what happened was Lorraine Williams, the Buck Rogers Harris, and her brother, the Buck Rogers Hare, they decided that, hey, you know what? We want to make movies and we want to get stuff done out of Hollywood. So he convinced her, hey, I need to run this TSR West out of Los Angeles, pay for this great, office, set on Sepulveda Boulevard, and et cetera. So they go out and TSR just says, you know what, we don't think we're getting the attention and that we need from DC Comics because we want movies and cartoons because I guess D&D, the Dungeons and Dragons, the cartoon had come off the air.
Oh,
right?
It was after the
It was
cartoon
after
came
that.
off
And
the
they're
air,
like,
okay.
hey, we want movies, we want TV shows, we want all this stuff. So they hire this guy, her brother, basically go out there, but there's one problem. DC Comics owns the license to Dungeons and Dragons. They sold it to him and said, hey, you're going to put out this D&D stuff. And DC Comics basically finds out that TSR is putting out their own version of Dungeons and Dragons comics, but not Dungeons and Dragons. They can't put their name on it.
Oh.
And so in order to not to compete with them directly, they said, well, these aren't just comics. These are comic modules where these characters we create and tell these stories in these comics, but in the back of the comics are these games that you can use with TSR.
So they were trying to get around their partnership.
Get around the partnership with DC Comics, but they couldn't use Advanced Dungeons and Dragons names or Dungeons and Dragon characters because DC Comics had those rights. And so DC Comics says, we're about to sue you, but they said, TSR, but we're not using Dungeons and Dragons names or characters. And by the way, these aren't just comics; these are like comic modules. So there's your two failure points. You're going to go head to head against the people in the comic industry that you sold the rights to for Dungeons and Dragons, which is a bad move. And you're not even able to use your bread and butter.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
You can't use your Dungeons and Dragons.
Who's going to buy these if they're not
Exactly.
Dungeons and Dragons?
So they came up with these shit 4 storylines. But anyways, the other problem that they had, according to Ben Riggs and his book that's coming out and the seminar, is that the comic books didn't make it to the comic stores because, Random House shipped those out and they got to the bookstores. Like, what do we do with these? Well, these are modules. So they ended up in B. Dalton and Walden books. They didn't end up in comic stores. So gamers are looking at these like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, the
out.
comic people can't get them, and the gamers
Exactly.
don't want, the gamers look at them as comics.
And by the way, DC Comics said, fuck you, TSR. We're going to stop printing Dungeons and Dragons comics. And we own the rights.
So no one will
Yes,
be
and
able to print them.
That's right. And as a comic book collector, what's the last thing you want to do to a comic book?
Destroy it.
Destroy
damage
it. You had to cut the backs of these comic modules up
Oh, to use the
in order to
module?
use them or play them
Oh,
in
yeah.
D&D games or, quote unquote, parallel universe, basic game mechanics like Gamma World or Star Frontiers or something similar to that, Gangbusters or whatever. So TSR basically screwed itself literally out of the comic book collectors era. And as Ben likes to say, think about this. If they went full bore with DC Comics, even though they've had mixed success in the movie industry, or if they went with Marvel, for example, and they kept this comic book line going for the next 30 years, imagine what movie universes could be out there right now for Dungeons and Dragons and etc.
They did. Marlon Wayans was in one.
No. There's another. He didn't go into that, but I'll tell you what the problem with that is.
Oh, that was so.
If you go in and you're making movies from Marvel and DC, for example, who do you want in those movies?
Stars.
You want the stars, but you want what? The characters and their stories that right?
Oh yeah,
Right.
just slapping the name Dungeons and Dragons on
Exactly.
a movie.
It's not going to work.
That would be like slapping Captain America on the name of a movie and then have it about 3 guys sitting in a studio doing a podcast.
Hey.
Exactly. And faced with electrical outages or something. I don't know. But seriously, so you think about that. If they stayed true, other than the problems TSR had, which Ben goes into, and you can hear on his podcast, and hopefully you're going to hear on Hobie special interviews. I've opened a dialogue with him,
Nice.
But anyways,
Until he throws the restraining order.
until he puts the restraining order on me, he's like, "You're stalking me," but
Well, I am, but
I am, but you're my new best friend, but you don't realize it.
Beside the point.
Beside the point,
did we just become best friends?
I think we did.
No, not
Wait,
at all.
hold on.
I'm trying to get away from you.
But anyways, so think about that for a second. If DC Comics keeps the AD&D or the Dungeons and Dragons characters going, like some of the iconic characters in the back of the games, or as they come around in the 3rd edition, like the Drizzt, Dward and all that kind of stuff. If you make a movie about a D&D character that is beloved and very popular and well known, its success rate is going to be a hell of a lot higher than this Marlon Wayans wearing a leather cap dude. I don't know what the fuck that guy's name was. So the things that could have been.
Whales?
It was witch's skin.
Yeah.
No.
So it is pretty neat. So he goes into the how TSR failed, in depth, which I don't want to take away the thunder and all that kind of stuff. But TSR West, the failure of Dungeons and Dragons in LA, no movies, no cartoons, no comic books, and et cetera, mostly because of that horrible, business plan execution. Et cetera. A great case study for, business failures. If you're going to go into blue ocean, kind of market strategies for strategic business, you have to do it really well rather than price differentiation. And of course, they failed at all that kind of stuff. It's like, ooh, that's my education coming on. No, but anyways, so he does that and he talks about that and he talks about the origin of 3rd edition Dungeons and Dragons and basically, the connection with Peter Atkinson and the Wizards of the Coast and Magic the Gathering and that guy, he got his start because he brought over what's it, Pokemon, over here and all that kind of stuff, and how he basically took TSR, which at the time was a complete, failure, going out, he buys it and sells it. But here you go. If you're a company, and what's interesting about publishing back in those days, I mean, he goes into longer depths of, explaining how it worked. But basically, you have your product, you ship it to the distributor, like in this case was Random House. And Random House sends it out to, like, the bookstores, Walden Books, B. Dalton, et cetera, and all that kind of fun stuff. You get paid when it gets to the bookstore. Mm-hmm. The bookstore said, "Hell, okay, here you go. Yeah. Boom, here's your money. We got to sell this shit." TSR was in such a stronghold, flexible muscle position. They got paid when they sent shit to Random House.
Oh.
Random House paid them as soon as they got the shit. And then basically it was up to Random House to try and get that stuff out. And then, of course, if they couldn't sell it, then he would sell it back at a discount to TSR to buy it back, right? So you're basically printing your own money. Hey, we need to up our quarter.
Yeah.
Send as much shit and print it as much as you can and get it to Random House. And Random House goes, "Okay, here you go. Here's $1 million."
Yeah.
And then Random House is like, "Oh shit, we're backed up with TSR stuff. Get it out there."
And this is why the book industry is dead.
And dying. But here's the flip side of that. You're TSR, you're sending all this stuff, and you're still losing money. Where's the money going? And this is a good thing he keeps bringing up. Nobody can tell you where's the money going. Now, on the flip side, your printer, you're not paying your printer to print the stuff that you're shipping to Random House, who's paying you when they get it. Where's the money going?
They're not paying their printer?
Yes.
Well, that's bad for any business.
So here's what happened to the
not
printers.
Pay your
Here's what happened to the
contractors.
This is why TSR failed. So the printers stopped printing. We said, screw this. You owe us this much in debt.
yeah.
And you can't get them to print to sell your stuff to Random House, who's going to buy you for the stuff. So now you're in a quagmire. They actually sold their buildings and offices to the printer and signed a print-only exclusive deal with the printer to keep them happy in order to get stuff printed. And, of course, the bottom line is you're in these sweet deals. Where's the money going?
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're getting paid, but they don't have the money. Something's wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Hookers.
So,
Hookers
yeah,
and blow.
Hookers and
Always
blow.
hookers and blow.
You pay by the stroke.
was the
TSR
80s.
West.
If you
right.
paid by the stroke, it would be better.
It would be a lot cheaper.
Did you play any games?
Anyways, I'm getting to that.
Oh, Jesus.
So, anyways, then he goes and he talks
30
about
minutes
the
into
creation of Dungeons and Dragons and all that kind of stuff.
You're
And
interviewing.
basically, at the end of his seminars, I'm like, you know what? I want to talk to this guy. Let's get him on. I want to interview him, get him on the podcast, and all that kind of stuff. And at the end of the third seminar on Saturday, I walk up there. I'm like, "Hey, Mike Edwards, how you doing? I think you're really cool.
I really have touched a woman's boob. I promise.
Please. Yeah. But anyways, I got his stuff, and if you want to hear some of his things, go to Plot Points podcast, and his name is Ben Riggs, and he hosts that, and he was in competition with the Ennies this year for podcasting. He had to go up against the big boys like Ken and Kim and Jen, or what was it, Ron and Kim, or Kim? I don't know.
don't
Two
know who
industry
those are.
insiders. I have no idea. They're always winning every year because
Ken Jennings?
yeah, Kim and Rob has a podcast or something like I can't remember.
Fuck
I'll have to
Kim
go
and
look it
Rob.
up. Yeah, screw those people.
I don't know Kim and Rob.
You know why? The only podcast you need to listen to? Bad Ideas.
Yeah. So
Well, we give out the floppies, the most prestigious award in the business.
They're coming
right.
up soon.
but
6
so
months.
so he agreed. I'll be talking to Ben next month in September. So I'll try and do something special and get it on there. And but the other thing that I really enjoyed an awful lot the next morning after my bourbon trail was I did go see the screening of Eye of the Beholder, which of course is tied into a lot of TSR, and is basically a documentary about the art of Dungeons and Dragons. From the very beginning with Gary Gygax and Arneson, and the artists that they used to do, and they would just basically get any like high school kid to draw pencil drawings in the beginning.
Yeah.
And they would just submit it in and say, okay, you're hired. And it was really interesting to listen to the history of how it started. And they said, all right, we're creating all these monsters. What do they look like? I don't know. Put it on paper. Let's see what happens.
Why don't you tell me the name of the movie?
So,
They got big teeth and claws. All right, that's
It's,
that one. Sure, that works.
It's a floating eye with other little eyes coming out of it, and maybe a mouth like this. Yeah, that'll do.
That'll do.
What about walking trees? Can we draw walking trees?
Yeah, exactly. Same
Everyone
thing.
knows what a walking tree looks like.
Sorry, my
It's a
bad.
tree with legs.
It's a tree that walks. I mean, come on.
Does it have arms? So it is kind of interesting. They talk about if you go look at the original old monster manual, like I had, that kind of stuff, and you look at some of these things, and it's like, wow, that's pretty interesting. And they talk about how the early artist that did the monster manual drawings, he goes, if you go every few pages, you'll notice the changes in style, and then changes back to the styles. That's because you'd be like, okay, you have A through C. Jason, you got D through F, and I'll take G through H, and as soon as you're done, let me know.
And then-
Oh, you're done? You got I, J, K. And so it is kind of funny when it comes to that, but what it really helps out is that art is so important to your product, and especially when you're dealing in the realms of imagination. It's like, well, what does this look like? And if the artist nails it, you're in, you're bought. The very great thing about Moria with Steve Jackson, I was enjoying the movie, Peter Jackson. I was enjoying the movie up until that point, but when we got to Moria, that was exactly the way I remember seeing some early art as a kid, and that was what was in my mind, and it was perfect. So he took that, represented, threw it on there, and it's so important how art brings your products in. Like, I forget the Wayne
Hickenbottom.
Whatever, Hickenbottom. Yeah, sure, Wayne Hickenbottom. Yeah, sure, that guy. The guy that started the Pathfinder art, for example.
Yeah.
What turned me off of Pathfinder, other than the fact that it was like an extension of 3.5 Dungeons and Dragons, it was the art. I couldn't get into the art. The guy's hands cannot be bigger than his head.
Well, I could.
The sword cannot be wider than the body of the person that's wielding. You know,
Well,
that,
have you
that kind-
watched anime and manga? The swords are
Yes,
always
I
bigger.
know. And you know what? He's talented, man. God bless the guy. I could not do anything that guy does. And it does have that influence. You can see where it comes in from the anime and all that kind of stuff. But that turned me off. It's the wrong art.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's like, yes, it's better than anything I can do,
Yeah.
but I still don't like it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to pay for it.
You know, you're waiting for the Punisher. You're waiting for the Punisher to come out. You've heard all these great things. You know,
you
he was
get
a
Jar Jar
side
Binks.
character. He's going to be the main character now. The Punisher is coming out. And the Punisher comes out and he's wearing a black T-shirt and a Halloween skull mask with a rubber band. Does that kill it for you?
Well, it's the
Most
Punisher.
likely, yes.
It's like, oh,
Not the cool outfit with the big skull and the big shirt with the belt and the guns. But
looks
if
like
you
he's
get
trying
that,
to be Ghost Rider.
yes,
Oh.
exactly.
Nobody wants Ghost Rider.
If you get that art concept is so important for you to sell your product. I mean, it will turn you off. You're like, you may buy that first episode of The Punisher, but after that, you're like, fuck it. You know, it doesn't matter how good the story is or the content. If the art isn't there, it is. So it goes through the history of the art in D&D from like the early 70s all through the 80s up until the, TSR, and then beyond into, Wizard of the Coast and stuff. And what was best thing about it was, once again, Larry Elmore was one of the big four
Oh, yeah.
in the mid 80s, and I stopped by
the
Larry's
guy.
Larry's booth every year. He doesn't know who the fuck I am. I'm just some nut that shakes his hand and does something stupid in front of him every year.
I touched
did-
a boob.
And I did it again. So after the screening, the three producers are up, and I didn't have a chance to get them to commit to interviews afterwards, but I may try and get one of those guys next month as well. One of the three producers is there. So that produced this movie, The Eye of the Beholder. They do some other things too. So they're like, hey, Larry's selling the DVD, Blu-ray or DVD version in his booth if you want to go buy it. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm there. So when I go buy it, I'm standing in line. I get my DVD.
Hi, Larry.
I'm like, hey, do you want Larry to sign this? Oh, yes, please, that'd be great. So I'm off to the side of Larry. There's somebody else in front of me. My buddy's there with me. I get distracted. I buy it. They give it back to me. I look at it. I look at the front. I look at the back. I look at the front. I look at the back. I open it up. There's nothing there. I'm like, hey, did Larry sign this? And then Larry Elmore stops talking to the person that he's talking to and looks at me as a deranged old man. He's like, yeah, I signed it. And I'm like, oh, well, where is it? He's like, I wasn't going to sign the front. That's Caldwell's art. I signed it on the back. And I look at it, and his little square with him on the back, it's got this classic Larry Elmore. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. The signature is so good. I thought it was part of the original artwork on the box. And he's just looking at me like this deranged old guy. And I was being honest. I missed it because it looked like it was part of
You're
the
like,
actual.
come on, Larry, you remember
Right,
me?
I'm
I'm the
like,
guy that
yeah,
embarrassed myself
yeah,
last
man.
year.
I'm the guy that asked for a photo. And you're like, you want a photo with me? I'm like, yeah. No, so anyways, I'm like, I'm so sorry, Larry. I said, this looks so good. I thought it was part of the original print. I said, thank you very much. And I shook his hand. He's like, all right, thank you. And
He's like, security.
He's like, security. He's like, he's got this deranged Kenny Loggins look, nowadays.
Danger zone.
Yeah, but he's
zone.
danger zone. Yeah, he's pointing to me, danger zone, and I got to get out. But anyways.
I'm sorry. What was that, Jason?
Danger zone. We're flying into the danger zone.
Yeah, that's
Danger
exactly the
zone.
way
Well,
you saw
we have absolutely no worry about copyrighted music or anything because that's nothing like this side.
Danger zone.
But I thought it was so funny. He's looking at me. He's like, yeah, I signed it.
But where?
But I was like, hey, thank you very
you playing
much. I shake
games?
his hands. Yeah, I did. So anyways.
So we can wrap the Gen Con thing up.
Oh, yeah. So anyways, I go in our first
Oh,
game.
dear God.
And it's like, oh, hold on a second. I'll get to your crawl. I'll get to Larry. I'll get to Joey Vigor
I don't even care.
Yeah,
I was
Joey
just asking
Vigor.
what was going on.
with Growl, right?
Wow.
So we went into this game, and there's 12 people in there. And the lady running the game's like, okay, you don't know. All we know is like, dinner at the king's table. And I knew I was in trouble when 9 of the 12 players all knew each other, and they knew who she was.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, crap. Well, it turns out she's been running this game every year.
And they've just
At
been
Gen
coming
Con,
back
they
and
keep coming back. She
continuing.
runs several versions of it, like once a day or whatever every day. And I'm like, oh, shit. So I actually so what happens is you got 12 characters, you draw random characters, and they all have, backgrounds and things you're supposed to act out. And the goal is in this 4-hour
Is
period.
it a murder mystery?
Kind of.
Like a dinner
Your goal
party?
is to protect one other player from dying and kill another.
You have to kill one and protect
Yes.
one.
And
Oh.
it turned out the character I hosted was expert male, and my goal was to have somebody kill, but yet I need to protect all the all the hosts, in the name of the king, blah blah blah, murder mystery kind of thing. So, but it was really neat. There was we all started, and there was this middle-aged lady, and we're all to start, and she just starts going to character, and she is dropping cunt bombs,
What?
cursing, and at first I was like, holy shit, what is this lady's problem? Then I realized, oh, she's really good at she's
a
really good at playing her character. And so it was really good. We had fun. We had an orc barbarian that thought she was an elven sorcerer. So when she would cast a spell, she'd be like, yell magic missile, and like trying to like hit you with her club. So we would cast like spells and attack like what she thought she was, or she put her hair over her head and thought she was invisible and walking around. So it was kind of funny in that manner. I had to, try and maintain the peace and, always scream, how dare you, all that kind of fun stuff.
Wait a minute, that's Jason's rule?
Yeah, that's exactly.
How dare you?
It would have been perfect for Jason.
I mean,
Danger
Jason would just
zone.
have
Exactly.
that meme every
Yes.
time.
Like
How
another,
dare you?
Like another character's name was my ass, but he always had to refer to themselves in the third person. Like my ass sits down at the table. My ass, and it was kind of like fun items like that. We had the wizard that was senile, who was blowing everybody up with fires and fireball, and
Of course.
thought everybody was a lizard person to be attacked, and he was losing his mind. And then another of the characters, despite trying to kill and save somebody, was supposed to try and have sex with two characters. So his first round is like, yeah, charmed person. He come back and have sex with me. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So the first round, I'm like, what the fuck is all this? And I'm like, character. This is pretty good. So you're playing with a lot of people that have a lot of experience, but the problem is you're playing with a lot of people that have played this game before, and so I was still kind of like unsure, like second round or
the
third.
Same
Yeah,
thing every year?
Yeah,
The sa-
second or third round turnout.
The same scenario every year? Oh.
Exactly. Except the DM changes the characters up every
Oh,
year.
okay. Oh.
And creates new ones. So she hands them out in a sealed envelope. You open it up, you read it, and you're like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. And then you do a random, okay, everybody puts a number on their name card, which you put in front of you, and then you roll a dice. And the first die that you roll, number 1 through 12, that's the person you want to protect. But it's a secret. You can't tell anybody.
So you don't know.
Then the second roll that
Who
you
you wanna
roll
kill.
is who you want to kill, but you can't tell anybody.
What
And
if
you
it's the same person?
you only write it down and give it to the DM. So
What if you roll the same number?
you can't roll the same number.
No, you can. I've seen it happen.
Well, wait.
before.
You can't. Well, you have to roll again. You can't roll the same number for both, and you can't choose yourself to kill. But you can choose yourself to
yourself to
but you
save?
can, yes, you can choose yourself to save if your number rolls in. Yeah, you pick a number. Oh, there's a number in a hat, right? So all the numbers are taken, and then all the numbers go back in, and the numbers come out, right? So you roll 1 through 12, say, oh, who's number 1, who's number 2, blah blah blah, and then you put your names on a piece of paper. You draw them out. That's who you save. And if it's yourself, that's good. You throw them all back in. Next one you take out is who you're supposed to kill. You can't be yourself. Otherwise, round 1, I take my name. Blech.
I
You
win! Yay!
Nobody won because we couldn't get everybody dead until
Did
the
nobody
last
win because
round.
you're playing Dungeons and Dragons?
And then, yeah, exactly.
Oh, apparently they found a way to make a winner in the game.
That's a
Yeah, they did. We did.
because they're not winners in life.
Hey, great.
Oh,
Encounter theory, you're within a confined sandbox. You're allowed to do whatever you want, but we had to stay within this big dining room in the king's castle.
I'm gonna go out to the gazebo.
Yeah. But so it was pretty neat. I didn't win. At the end, they vote who the best player was. I got a few votes.
All right. right.
You know,
By
I
yourself.
think I shocked everybody when I jumped up on my chair and went into character, started screaming at everybody, "How dare you!" And everybody's like, "What the fuck?" But
I saw what you did.
You're a horrible guest. Yeah. So, but I didn't win. But you know, the cards are. You know, on one hand, when
Sounds
you're
like
the
very bad
outsider,
community theater.
no, it's good. It was actually very entertaining. A lot
It
of good
sounds
laughs.
like people getting together and having fun.
You know what?
Yes.
I applaud that. No problem.
It was a good time.
I'm not saying, wow, you're a little sensitive.
But no, but when well, all right. You know, my type A personality comes out sometimes because I'm
Sometimes?
going up against 9 people that play with each other all the time. Mm-hmm. You know, and they know what's happening. There's only 3 newbies. You know, in the match.
Did you newbies stick together as newbies like they do in
Yeah,
all
my
the
buddy did.
reality
Yeah,
TV shows?
Yeah, kind of a little bit, but you know, the good thing is the advantage is you're playing with a lot of people with experience. I think everybody there, I think the minimum age was you know, the one son who was in his like mid-20s was with his dad. And so you're all with like a bunch of middle-aged players, you know, mostly like 30s and 40s.
Oh God, sounds terrible.
Oh, it was great. And, you know, very experienced players. And so we all knew what to do and we could all play off of each other. And it was pretty fun. I had a good time.
And a good time was had by all.
Good times had by all. Now, you asked me about the book.
Yes.
All right. So the first time, I'm a big Forgotten Realms fan.
He won a book.
Created by Ed Greenwood, right?
Lee Greenwood?
Ed Greenwood.
No.
So if you're
God bless America.
Yes.
USA.
so if you're a Forgotten Realms fan,
Nope.
not Jason, but anybody else that's out there and all that kind of stuff, games.
What is
For D&Ds,
Forgotten Realms?
Forgotten Realms is one of the major fantasy settings that, you know, a lot of D&D game takes place, and tons of fictions
They
written about.
wrote a lot of books that took place within the
Lots of
setting.
fictions and all that kind of stuff. So Ed wasn't there because he and his wife had like some health issues and he couldn't make it out. But so this is the first time I signed up for this thing. I was like, all right, it's Saturday night, it's 8:00, maybe we can bring some beers and drink and whatever and kind of stuff. And I was like, all right. So I show up, and it's his first time, and apparently he'd been doing this for several years, and it's basically tons of Forgotten Realms aficionados and writers over the years get together, and they just pick a topic for the Forgotten Realms and just have a discussion about
writing something.
about writing it and stories in the realms, and as it pertains to gaming, and you know, just telling your favorite stories or relating your stories or talking about concepts and ideas. And so Ed Greenwood couldn't be there, but he Skyped in.
Oh,
And
that's
of course,
cool.
he Skyped in, and of course, he's playing.
Was his Skype slow like Blade?
Actually, it did glitch a little bit. It was pretty funny, especially when they would draw names out of the hat and he couldn't read them. He'd be like, move it away, move it further. No, bring it back in. No, move it down, move it up. He's like, I can't read it. No, but it's funny. He's got the long white beard. I mean, he hams up the whole guiding wizard sage thing. He even talks like it sometimes and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I'm sitting there, and as they're talking to people, and they're saying, hey, this is so-and-so, hey, I'm so blah, 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 talking. So I write these people's names down, and I start looking them up. And I got authors around here. I got people, and a lot of these people know each other, except for me. They're like, who are you? My name's Blake.
Hi, Blake.
My name's Blake. I'm in the podcast. So they're checking out my badge, and it says press. They're like, oh, History of Bad Ideas. What is it, History Podcast?
Yes. When they
My
ask,
shirt says not a history podcast.
every time they say that, you say yes.
No. But anyway, so those that were there with me is like Eric Scott DeBee, and he's got Forgotten Realms books, several of them published, big writer. Another person there was Travis Armstrong, another big writer. Female, she did like the Brimstone Angels series and Forgotten Realms. Aaron M. Evans was there. And the big guy, who I didn't realize who he was, and you're talking about, oh yeah, Eric, and Eric's sitting there, and he's like an older guy, big white beard. Yeah, and by the way, coming out of the new module, I have a table of contents. We printed them out. We're handing them out for free. If you want a copy, go ahead and take one. So here's what's coming out. So I look at it, it's like Eric L. Boyd. I'm like, I think I know that name. Why do I know that name? So then I go,
Google that.
Yeah, I had to Google it, and I brought it up. I got it here. I can read his whole playlist. But if you're a Dungeons and Dragons guy, this is the guy that basically helped formulate and rule the entire Forgotten Realms with Ed Greenwood. He's like the player characters. He's got the the accessory, the history of the DM's got. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's the inside and out. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, so Eric Scott DeBee, Eric L. Boyd, Travis Armstrong, Aaron Evans, and of course you got Ed Greenwood coming in, and of course hey,
And Blake Edwards.
yeah, that's funny. So they're handing out free stuff as they do, and some of the fans and other authors are all there talking. And then the theme is like Leaves of the World, and basically it's talking about planes, and not as in airplanes, Jason, but they're talking about like planes.
Planes of existence?
Yes, planes of existence, Nine Hells, material plane, astral plane. And they're going in these discussions, and I'm like, this is above my experience point level.
I'm still on the prime material plane.
I'm still on the prime material. That's all I know. No, but it was pretty cool. And then they go to this thing like, hey, we have. So Ed Greenwood's on there, and he's talking about what's in the realms. Here's something I didn't know. I didn't know this. Hasbro killed D&D Publishing 2 years ago.
I did not know that either.
They were making profits off of the literature with the books, but it wasn't enough profit for them. They said, you know what, we're a game company. We don't write books. So they stopped. And so that was like a big one of the contentious issues.
So did they let other people write?
No, they own the rights, and they're not letting people write D&D books, especially like Forgotten Realms.
They will soon. Because they're
they-
going to make movies.
Yes. Well, see, that's where it all comes
There's
round,
no such thing
round
as not
circle.
enough profit.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then spin it off and let somebody else do it.
Exactly.
But
Spin off a small business unit and let them have it. But anyways, talking to these people, and they've got like, oh, yeah, so they're joking about, yeah, I've got these books, they're getting ready to publish, and blah, blah, blah. It was like, but not under the D&D Forgotten Realms. So, but what is pretty funny is like Ed goes through his spiel, and they talk about the publishing for a little bit and all that kind of. I'm like, I didn't know they killed publishing. Of course, it would help if I read something other than that. Maybe it'd be more fulfilling than George R.R. Martin's never finishing Game of Thrones.
I'm still waiting for George to finish
before
I start something new.
But I have a new reason to read now, and it's been something I've been putting off for a long time. So like, hey, we have some advanced editor proof copy books here for R.A. Salvatore's Drizzt Do'Urden series. He's first non-D&D Forgotten Realms Hasbro license. It's his next book that's coming out. That is a Drizzt.
It's actually coming out?
Yes, next month. And I got the book. Actually, I didn't bring it, but you saw the photo.
I saw the photo that you posted.
But so they're like, oh, this is great. We're going to rattle this book off. And I'm like, oh, please let it be me. And they're like, Ed Green's like, oh, but move the line. No, move the ticket closer to me. No, move it farther away. I cannot read it. Move it down. No, that's too far. Move it up. Okay. He's like, can you see it now, Ed? It's like pretty funny through the Skype computer. He's like, oh, yes, I see. It says Edwards. And I was like, Blake Edwards. And I'm like, that's me. And everybody's like, who the fuck are you? And I'm like, thank you very much. And I'm like,
Hobie bitches.
Hobie bitches. And they're like, hey, we're going to take a break. And I'm like, good, because I'm out.
I
won the book
leaving.
And I'm out. No, I got R.A. Salvatore's unproofed, editor-proof book that's coming out next month. And that kind of reminds me, I've never read the Drizzt Do'Urden series, but I always meant to.
Yeah.
But now that I got the new book,
always
maybe
love
I'll
his-
go in,
Talk
I'll
to
go
Jim.
read
He's not here,
those.
but I know he's been reading it. So
Yeah.
he could probably lend you a couple of books if
I
you
love-
want
There
to
you
start.
go.
I love his.
He'll probably lend you a couple if you let him read that.
I love his
I
pictures.
could do that, yes.
Especially with the stuff laying over the campfire limp.
I have no clue what you're talking
Oh,
about.
that's Salvador Dali. My bad.
No,
Wrong person.
R.A. Salvatore. I see what you did there.
I'm sorry.
But anyways, all right. So if you're not a gamer and you listen to me talk for 45 minutes, I don't know what the time is.
Yeah.
anyways.
Well, that was about 45 minutes
Oh,
from
shit.
when you
I'm
started.
sorry. But anyways, I had a really good time. And
After all that, I had a crappy time.
oh, yeah, Jason, there's an Axis and Allies zombie version that's
they
out
move
there.
slower.
They move even slower, Jason.
We're going backward.
Exactly. No, but I did try to go meet your buddy Joey Vigora who
For
did
Growl.
for Growl that game. By the way, if you're a new game publisher, you have a new game because you kickstarted it.
Yep.
You get yourself a little booth there in Gen Con. Mm-hmm. You get yourself a gimmick where you're giving away a little something, but you're not just giving it away. You make an event out of it like he did, like you spin the wheel, and no matter what you land on, you're going to win something. You're going to take that, and then you're going to pile that into something bigger. So you put that into the little swag coupon book. Hey, come to booth 64 or whatever, 640.
Get something free.
Get something free. And there are people that were there, and I just want to let you know. And of course, they're doing some play testing and gaming around there. There were adults with their kids. They were standing in line, spinning the wheel. And I talked to Joey. He had this little honey lemon drops because he's losing his voice, explaining the game. And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's doing great." He even showed me. He's like, my reserves are out." He picked up his, table, curtain there. He's like, "It's still going." He's like, "These are the last ones." I'm like, "That's so awesome." I was like, "I'm happy for you, dude."
If you would come to the expo, Blake, we do have fun games that we give away a lot of stuff every time at our booth at the Cincinnati Comic Expo.
Oh, well, there's your business model.
Just to let
There
you know,
you go.
we are officially going to be.
But we're not even publishing a game, and we give stuff away.
Yeah.
that's
Officially,
true.
Jeff.
We have nothing for sale at our booth, and we're giving.
We're not
stuff
allowed
away.
to. Jeff, we're officially at the expo this year.
Well,
We got it.
we got it. Was it ever in
Thank
doubt?
you. I don't know, but it's always nice to.
Well, when is the expo?
September 20th through the 22nd. You know what I'm doing, Jeff? I'm going there.
Really? I think I plan on being there too.
Yeah, screw you, Blake. You know who else is going to be there? Will
Jim?
Wheaton.
Oh,
Will Wheaton. He's a gamer.
Ben
is.
McKenzie.
Yeah, who?
Ben McKenzie.
Yes, Ben McKenzie. Yes, I thought you said Doug McKenzie.
Oh, that
I
would
was
be Bob and Doug. Right?
Yes.
No.
Take off, eh?
The Harp Girls, Harp Twins. They're
like,
going to be there.
Dirk Manning. Dirk Manning. He will be there. And yeah, we will be there. So that's good. A lot of Star Trek people.
Yep, Star Trek people, plenty. Nichelle Nichols, probably her last go round on conventions.
On this side, yep.
Yes.
And so please, September 20th through 22nd, Cincinnati Comic Expo. Go to CincinnatiComicExpo.com or follow us on the History of Bad Ideas on Facebook to get your tickets. Blake, can I talk about a game now?
Sure.
I bought Madden 20, the new Madden game.
Yay.
Well, we haven't bought one in a couple years, and my son really wanted it. It's fun. My appeal to the NFL is dragging each year. Like, I get less and less caring about it. But the football game is fun. It's enjoyable.
Has anything worthwhile changed since?
I like the franchise. I don't play online.
Oh, yeah, I
in
don't
that.
do that.
I like the
Never did.
franchise. You can,
But I mean, like, other than I got new player names, is there anything drastic that's changed since, I don't know, the PlayStation 2 games?
How many more buttons and knobs you got to twist up and down in
there's
order
new
to
little
catch to make a
techniques in
catch?
that. I mean, it's beautiful.
Too complicated.
No, it's pretty
nowadays.
easy. This one's actually pretty easy to.
I'm like moving around, throwing, dodging.
You hit X, you
catching,
throw the ball, and
jumping.
then the guy out.
Well, they
after
changed-
catches
they
it,
changed,
scores.
Do you have to do like up, down, left, right, left thumb, right thumb, A, B, A,
Yes,
B,
we got
C?
the Contra. So I took over the Arizona Cardinals, my favorite team, and I took over, their new quarterback.
Well,
Anyways, he's a running quarterback. And anyways, so he goes out there.
They got the rookie, right?
Yeah. So, Kyler.
So they don't even know how to judge
Correct.
him yet.
Well, the best part is, and he's not
Yeah, it's
right
all
time.
on speculation.
But the funny thing is, though, they changed how you scramble. Well, he's a scrambling quarterback. So I got it, and I was doing it I got it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I hit it, and I'm like, that's not how you scramble, because you used to hit
You
Arthur.
actually had to read the rules.
Yeah. So I go to scramble. He just threw it out of bounds on purpose. That doesn't seem right. So I go again. Oh, shit. I better scramble. Droop. He threw it out of bounds on purpose. Son of a bitch, where's the instruction manual? Damn it.
You got to go up, down, right thumb, left,
it's actually
left
a lot
thumb,
easier.
right. Oh, are you sure?
It's a lot easier.
You
this
just
time.
run.
Yeah.
You don't actually have to hit a button to scramble. You just run.
You're holding the turbo anyways. You just move the right joystick. I was like, well, that's a lot
Wait,
easier.
what do you mean turbo? These guys are fuel
Yes.
powered.
Yes, they all are.
Duh,
got-
they're
they got
professional
nitro?
athletes. Of course, they're fuel
Got
powered.
nitro in their back pocket.
Anyways.
Is that
I bought
nitro
Madden.
in your back pocket, or are you just glad to see me?
Real quick here, since we'll get through some of this, I don't even know if we're going to News of the Geek this week because of your comment.
That is the news of the geek.
That is the News of the Geek. What live action Disney... No, I'm talking listener feedback. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Listener feedback. What live action Disney film are you most looking forward to? You can follow us on Bad Ideas Podcast on Twitter. We have Jungle Cruise with The Rock, Artemis Fowl, which got pushed back from August until February, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, and Mulan. Let's see.
Well, I will tell you right off the bat,
Yeah.
after seeing about 10 minutes of the first Maleficent
Yeah.
this weekend, definitely not Maleficent.
I think I think I watched about 10 minutes this weekend.
I was watching it, and I'm like, this is not good.
No. I think Angelina Jolie just doesn't do it for me.
I didn't even get to Angelina Jolie.
I really didn't get to it. Well, in last place, Artemis Fowl with 21%.
It's the one I voted for.
You know what it's about?
I have no clue what it's about, but it's the only one
He
on here
finds
that's original.
He's a chosen one, and he finds the world of fairies.
I mean, I know it's based off of the book or
Yeah.
and whatnot, but it's the only one that's not based off of a ride or previous.
Well, Artemis Fowl
movies
is a
they've done.
book series, and everybody was upset. Well, the 10 people that love the book.
There's more than 10.
Yeah, I know. But they're like, oh, you can't make it into the first 2 books. You have to just do 1 book. So that's what they're doing. The first movie is about 1 book. And I'm like, is there really a big uprising amongst Artemis Fowl fans? I guess
Well,
so.
normally they've been splitting the books into 2, like they did for the last Harry Potter and the last Hunger Games. They split
Twilight.
the last book into 2. They did that with Twilight too, didn't they?
Yeah. Because that's what needed more films.
Yeah.
So
If you can't find the fat to trim off of that book, then you're not a good editor.
in third place, Mulan with 24%. And then tied, Maleficent and Jungle Cruise tied.
It tied. I saw it.
Yeah, there were some good. I guess I would pick Mulan maybe.
Oh, I picked Artemis Fowl because it's
So just came out today that Disney Plus has announced they come out November 12th. $7 a month or $70 for the year.
hey, that's even better.
Or if you bundle it with ESPN Plus and Hulu Plus, it's $12.99, which is not a bad deal.
Oh, you got to get ESPN with
Wait,
it.
well, you get it. You don't have to watch it.
Yeah, but I mean,
Does that include ESPN LO?
well, at Hulu Plus is that the
Ocho.
no commercials?
I don't
on
know.
Hulu? If it's
I
the
don't
no
have Hulu.
commercials Hulu,
That'd be worth it. Yeah, sure.
Hulu. So what? Hulu and Disney for what did you say? $12.99.
$12.99. Let's see here. Oh, it's just regular Hulu with ads.
Yeah, that's not really saving anything, is it?
Not sure.
I think Hulu's what, about $5 and $7 and $5 is $12. So I'm actually paying $1 more to get ESPN, which ESPN I stopped caring about a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
I mean, it's a pretty good deal, though.
Except for college football.
Well, since I don't watch that, I have
As
no
long as there's
need-
not SEC games. Oh, wait. Sorry.
Oh, that's the SEC network, also
right.
known as ESPN.
The Ocho. Well, let's get right to draft day.
What do we want? Draft day! Draft day, draft day, I want a draft day. Draft day, we need a draft day. History bad ideas, yeah! Draft day!
Draft day. So this is from Randall Holt, RJ Holt 666. We had this in the vault for a while. He requested this at the last Comic Expo.
So we figured we'd have to do it before
Yes.
this upcoming expo.
Also, guys and gals, listeners, please send us some questions on Twitter at Bad Ideas Podcast or on Facebook because we're gearing up for the expo. We usually record 3 to 4 episodes. And so we need lots of questions and ideas on what you want us to talk about. The good news is this year we'll also be doing some short podcasts that will go out as well, recapping the day. And we're hoping to do some stuff on YouTube this year. Hopefully we're a little bit better at it. So just let you guys know, but thanks for listening and that. Draft day is like the fantasy football draft or fantasy baseball draft or fantasy NASCAR draft. Basically, you draft a person or anything actually to replace a character to basically cast them. So this week we're doing Facts of Life, and we're casting a new Edna Garrett, Blair Warner, Tootie Ramsey, Natalie Green, and Joe.
Joe.
And then once they're drafted, the person or fictional character, whatever, they can't be drafted again by anyone else. So Blake, you're going last.
Shit. Thank goodness.
So I'm going first. I'm going Joe. She's the tough character. Right, Jeff?
Yep.
She's a tough character.
As played by Nancy McKeon.
Okay.
Originally.
Yep.
She was an addition in the second season. After they got rid of half the cast, they took the girls they liked best and added Nancy McKeon to the cast. And
Molly Ringwald did not make the cut.
she did not, along with 3 other girls who everyone forgot their names.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Joe, in my world, is being played by Summer Glau. I feel like she's the tough girl and she could do it. I like that pick. That was my favorite pick. It all goes downhill from here.
Oh, it's like you can never go wrong picking Summer Glau to be in something. So
I thought she worked.
Summer Glau.
Go ahead, Jeff. Who's your pick?
I might as well just start right at the top. Set the pace for everything. My Mrs. Garrett.
Hold on. Mrs. Garrett is played by Charlotte Rae.
Yes.
And she is basically taking care. She takes care of everybody.
She's the headmistress of the school.
Yes.
Or not the headmistress, but the
She
person
mentor-
who's looking after the kids.
She
house
mentored
mother
them.
Type
Yes,
thing.
she
yeah.
mentored them. She was also the school's dietitian.
Yes.
Go ahead.
But I am going full circle and having Molly Ringwald be my Mrs. Garrett.
I like that one. It's a good one. Okay. Blake?
Okay, we discussed off air, but so our listeners understand where I'm coming from on this list. I had zero preparation for our
Because Hackney screwed up your outline.
Yes.
Intern Hackney!
yes, and shout out to Rod who screwed up my evening preparation.
Okay.
All right, I got to go with the top. I think Charlotte Rae, Edna Garrett is the quarterback.
Okay.
Okay.
Tom
So
Brady?
I'm gonna.
So you're building
I'm-
your team around.
I'm
Edna
building my
Garrett?
team around Mrs. Doubtfire
You know what? That's not bad.
as Charlotte Rae, Edna Garrett. Yes,
Hello.
I like the pick.
thank
That's
you,
not a bad pick at all.
thank you, thank you.
We're not snaking, though.
No snake. Okay, good. It gives me time to buy more time.
I'm going my Blair. Blair?
Yeah,
Let me give you a little background on her. Sorry.
she's the Barbie.
Yeah, she's the rich, kind of preppy, stuck-up girl.
Yes.
But she's really not all that bad. She has a kind heart.
I'm going Cicely Strong from Saturday Night Live. She used to be the anchor woman.
Yes.
I think she could play it well. So I'm going Cicely Strong.
She's not blonde.
I know. I'm going different.
God.
I was actually pretty proud of these
How
two.
can I figure out
Yeah.
that's Blair if she's got the wrong hair color?
I'm actually not upset with any of my picks, like the ones I have out here. So there you go. Jeff, what's your number two?
I'm going to go with my Blair.
Okay.
I'm going with, television's favorite, teenage girl who can kind of be up her own head there. I'm going with Marsha Brady.
Marsha. She looks like her. That's a good one.
Marsha Brady is.
I thought you were going Topanga for a second.
No, I'm too old to go Topanga.
Topanga. Who's your number? What's your number two? This is probably your running back position.
Okay. Yes, actually, it is my running back position.
Okay.
With all the Gen Con talk, I forgot to tell you that Sunday night I saw Spider-Man
Into the
Far From
Universe.
Home.
Oh, how did you
yeah.
like it?
I understand Jeff's one-word description for it.
Yeah.
They had some fun. It was kind of fun. I found Mary Jane kind of annoying, and I didn't understand why Peter Parker would be running around with his mask off all over the place.
Don't even get me started on that shit.
It's
gotten to the point-
it upset you too?
Oh, it always.
I'm
does.
like, why does he
That
keep
pissed
taking
him
his
off when
mask
Tobey
off?
Maguire did
You're
it,
in the
so.
middle of this natural disaster. There's going to be TV and cameras everywhere, and you're like, oh, let me take my mask off. Talk to you, Mary Jane. Oh, hey, let me take my mask
It's
off.
gotten
Run
so
around.
bad now. Even my 5-year-old daughter and my 9-year-old son, and in anything that they watch with Spider-Man,
Yeah.
they go, "Here he goes again, taking it off."
Taking the mask off. Hey, I'm at a fundraiser. Let me go behind this curtain. Hey, I'm
Yeah,
taking
why
my
would you
mask
take it off
What
right
are
there?
you doing? But yeah, it was enjoyable, but it wasn't great. But it
Yeah.
wasn't bad.
I mean, you're paying for these people to be have their beautiful faces on screen. They want to show their beautiful faces.
Yeah, exactly. I guess so.
beautiful people.
I did like the first end scene credit with J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, the first one was good.
I thought that was really good. I enjoyed it immensely. But the very last one with Nick
Jackson.
Fury, I
Yeah.
was like, what?
I'm like, oh.
Like, what is
that
this?
actually lowered the movie for me.
I do like that Aunt May kept calling it the Peter Tingle. Could you please stop calling it that?
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was
I did
funny.
enjoy that. It was good. But anyways,
You can dodge a bullet, but I can't dodge a banana.
because the name is fresh in my mind, and I do need a running back, so that's Joe. Joe's the
Okay.
running back, right?
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Fresh off of the movie, Kobe Smulders. She can be my Joe.
She could be my Joe.
Yeah.
I have a feeling my team's going to lose. I'm liking Blake's picks. His panic at the last minute picks.
panicking picking this stuff up, so don't go too fast, guys.
Number 3 for me,
Okay.
I'm going to Mrs. Garrett, the house
Okay.
mother.
Yes.
I'm going Katie Seagal's character from Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, Lord. I didn't know this was going to be like she's raising a bunch of hitmen or
don't
something.
worry about it.
Or you know what? You
Wow.
can use Mrs. Bundy. There you go.
Gemma. Gemma is Mrs. Carter. Let me tell you, there's going to be some bitches dying in this house.
Man, that's the other girls didn't like go somewhere else. Gemma took them out.
Well, yeah. And then you got
Gee.
Charlie Hunnam will guest appearance as the George Clooney character.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Hey, I'm not from another country. Good eye, mate.
All right, I'm gonna go for my pick. No one's got a Tootie yet.
She's the African American character in it.
Yes,
She is. She was known for gossip.
and the early seasons, especially being on roller skates the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
She was the precocious. She was a little bit younger than everyone else, and the precocious little one, but sassy.
She had the Arnold lines.
Yes.
You know,
So I'm picking the character of Erica Sinclair from Stranger Things season 3.
oh yeah.
Have
She
you
was
watched
very
a single
enjoyable.
episode of Stranger Things season 3?
No, not
Really?
yet.
Oh my god.
Well,
Still
she was in season 2 too, but very briefly.
Yeah.
But she had a major role in season 3,
And she's
It's,
good.
What's
I
his
liked
name's
her.
younger sister?
Yes. Yes.
Lucas
What's
was that?
the-
His
yeah,
name?
Lucas,
Lucas's
I can't
younger
remember.
sister. But yeah, she's. God, Jason, you need to catch up on Stranger Things because you would get this pick.
I'm finishing up the boys.
Okay, well, The Boys is worth watching too.
I'm trying to get through Stranger Things season 2. It really is dragging for me. Season 2.
Oh, you haven't even finished season 2?
I'm getting through it.
You're right. Stranger Things season 2 is not as good as 1.
It just is dragging.
And 3 is better. Get through it to get to 3.
Why the
Trust
fuck
me.
are we trying to keep this alien thing? Fucking let the thing
Well,
go.
okay, Dustin did a stupid thing.
Dustin's an idiot. Anyways, what's your pick, Blake?
Hey, did you guys see the picture of the little Dustin I took with
I
Gen
did,
Con?
yeah.
I did see
That,
that.
I think that boy, of all the costumes, I think that little boy had the best one. I was like, yeah, I want a picture of Dustin.
Worried me though. I'm like, Blake's taking
right.
picures with little boys.
Take a picture
Oh,
with Dustin,
no.
and then the dad said, please step away, sir.
You're in the danger zone. Danger zone.
and Larry Elmore was just standing there shaking his head.
Or just shaking. Oh, that was Michael J. Fox.
Saw where that was going.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, you know what? Tootie, right? Tootie.
Yeah.
Tootie.
Rolling skates,
Yep.
sassy,
Oh, here we go.
This is your receiver.
snaps.
Wide
Yeah, this is
receiver?
it. RuPaul. For my Tootie.
Oh, okay, good. 'Cause
RuPaul for my Tootie.
I like it.
Thank you.
I do like that one. My Tootie is Roller Girl. From Roller Girl. Heather Graham.
Heather Graham's roller girl.
That's my Tootie.
all right.
So Gemma's got them turning tricks and
my
making
goodness.
money for her.
I can see Gemma, training them to be on a roller derby team or something.
Did I tell you that this is a little bit more hardcore gritty remake?
Yeah, you didn't before, but I think we got the picture.
You got the rated R facts of life.
Speaking of remakes, did you, Jeff? You're a fan. Did you see the new Charlie's Angels trailer last week?
Yeah.
It looks
A couple
enjoyable.
weeks ago, yeah.
It looks enjoyable.
It looks better than you expect when you hear about it.
Yeah, I'm down for it. Okay.
I'll probably watch it.
What do you got next?
I got Joe.
Yo, Joe.
I'm going for, I don't know if you've ever watched Scrubs. But in the later seasons, there was an intern who JD thought reminded him of Joe. So he nicknamed her Joe. So he called her Joe for like the last couple of seasons. But it was Eliza Coop's character, Denise Mahoney. And that's who I'm having as Joe because she's Joe. And
Okay.
According to Dr. Dorian on Scrubs, she's the perfect Joe.
Cool.
Can I say
like
Joe
it.
enough?
No.
Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
Joe.
All right. Let me see what's next on the list. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pick my Blair Warner, my Barbie.
This is your kicker?
Yes, my Barbie kicker. No, my Barbie cheerleader.
Oh, yeah, you need a cheerleader.
For my
There you
team. All right, since I was talking about Jason C. Browner this evening at dinner, and you brought him up again, and his Kristen Bell. There's got to be a way. This is it. I'm casting her as Blair
Bell as
Warren.
Blair
Kristen
Warner.
Bell.
Okay.
go. All righty.
No casting couch needed, Kristen. I just want you to know.
Last round, Jay.
Natalie Green.
Everyone's got Natalie's left. huh?
Hashtag you too.
Who is Natalie?
I got my Natalie left too.
Yeah, everyone's got Natalie.
Surprisingly, I've come up with two.
Oh, crap. I forgot the actress's name. Who
I
played
come up
Natalie?
with two. in
Mindy
case one of
Cohen.
you guys
Thank
take
you.
one.
Mindy Cohen.
Yeah, Mindy Cohen.
She was, I suppose, the thing that made her stand out was she was the chubby girl.
But she was positive about it. She didn't care.
No, yeah, she was.
Until the producers told her to lose weight because she was too fat.
I don't think they did.
Yeah, no, the producers were mean to all these girls on this show. They wanted them all to lose weight and all that kind of stuff.
No, not when you're the fat girl. You're allowed to be fat, though.
Well, then she felt even worse about it. I remember the producers were pretty mean to these ladies.
I believe
They were.
it.
You know, that was back in the day where Hollywood producers could be dicks.
They
Do you
still
remember
are.
they
And they
did,
still are.
They did write the Natalie loses her virginity storyline in
Yeah.
later seasons.
That was a very special episode.
It was.
In my remake,
it
Roller
didn't go good.
That was in the days where comedies had special serious episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
Every season there's like one serious
One
episode.
serious episode.
in my series, Roller Girl loses her virginity in the first 10 minutes.
That's how
Yeah.
it begins.
To
That's how
Joe.
it starts. There you go.
Welcome to the Gritty
All right.
remake.
Jason's R-rated, just went X.
My
There-
Facts of Life is called FACTZ of Life.
sponsored by Pornhub.
Facts of Life. Anyways, my Natalie is Fortune Feinster.
Huh?
Feinster. Jeff, you may know her. She's the roommate in Life in Pieces of the married couple. The annoying one.
Oh, Chucky, was that
Yeah,
her character's
yeah.
name? Oh, yeah. She's a stand-up comedian, and yeah.
I thought that was a good one. I like that one.
I could see, especially with your Gritty remake,
Yeah.
I could see her. Oh, I could see her like being a bully to everybody.
I like my team. Also, Randall Holt, you need to pick who wins. You're the one that optioned this. So if you send a draft day in, people, you get to pick the winner.
I think I already know who won. Congratulations, Blake.
What about mine? I got Gemma. What's your last pick, Jeff? Because not that matters.
No, it really doesn't. But as Natalie, I picked the Irma Gerd girl from the memes.
Please never do that again.
Irma Gerd.
No, stop it. Stop it. Or I'm going to sing Danger Zone again.
Irma Gerd.
Danger Zone.
Irma
Welcome
Gerd.
to the Danger Zone.
The Irma Gerd meme girl is one of the best memes that's out there. Irma Gerd.
Irma Gerd. That's my Natalie.
God,
All right, my Natalie. I got two of them. I wrote two of them down real quick, just in case you guys picked one. I'm surprised you guys didn't pick one. So I have one on the left and I have one on the right. Which one do you want?
I go
Right.
left.
God damn it. Jim, what do you say? Oh shit, you're not here. Okay, voters, to hear listeners to call in and vote.
We'll tell you which one you should pick.
All right, which one should I pick?
left.
I want to say tell us both, and we'll
All
tell
right,
you
listen.
which one.
I hastily scrolled down. Scrolled down.
Scribbled down.
Rebel Wilson or Melissa McCarthy?
Never take Rebel Wilson.
Never take Melissa McCarthy.
Well, one episode can be she shits in a sink.
Not Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy.
There you go.
In my Gritty remake, she could come on as a guest star and shit in the sink. And then Gemma's going to kill her for shitting in the sink. Okay, so there you go.
That's right. That's right. You know, Mrs. Garrett cooks a very horrible meal, and they all get Diarrhea. Melissa McCarthy is, now
We are very highbrow. We did get on Twitter about your 55-hour Gen Con recap.
Yeah.
Somebody said, please tell me there was going to be talk about dragons.
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, he zoned out.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Did we really talk specifically about a dragon?
No, but in The Eye of the Beholder, there
dear God.
is very good about 10 or 15 minute coverage of the creation of the dragon and the art of the dragon and how a couple of the artists basically made their names off of dragons.
Hell yeah, they did. 'Cause
so
there's
it's pretty
some cool
good.
fucking ass pictures of
Fucking
dragons
A,
out
baby.
there.
Oh, here's a good one. It's called Clyde Caldwell. Big backstory. If there was any hot-looking woman to be painted, it was his. You're like, I got it. You look at his art.
Chainmail bikinis.
Yeah, it was basically a lot of his art was chicks in chainmail bikinis, and he remembers the one Lorana that he did for Dragonlance for Margaret Weiss and Hickman. Margaret Weiss saw the Lorana. No, it was Gold Moon in this bikini leather strap bikini thing, and she started crying. That's not Gold Moon. She's holy. And Clyde Call was like, well, okay. Ever since then, I painted her with leather leggings.
A bikini and leather leggings.
All right, anyways.
So he's
Hey,
the dirty old man of the
Oh,
drawings,
yeah.
huh?
And he didn't want to be in the movie until they called him up and said, hey, look, we got everybody. We got Larry. We got Parkinson's son. We got everybody. And he's like, okay.
Anyways, so there's your draft day. Randall, tell us who wins. It better be fucking me, because I got Gemma, baby. Gemma's got a whole... And Roller Girl. So there's nudity in my show.
Yeah, I think Blake won.
He has Mrs. Doubtfire. That's a tough one to beat.
That was a good
Oh,
pick. That
thank
was
you.
inspired.
Let's do some...
First round pick, baby.
Let's do some News of the Geek.
It's time for another installment of the News of the Geek.
Okay. We'll do a quick one here since, we had a Gen Con News of the Geek. Per WKRN Local News, Mammoth Cave, Kentucky. I'm Chase Storm with your 11 o'clock news. Anyways, federal officials...
I thought Chase Storm was the weatherman.
No. That's Stormy Weathers. Federal officials are investigating an incident involving at least one gunshot fired last weekend at Mammoth Cave National Park. That was prompted by an alleged sighting of Bigfoot. A spokesperson for the national park said law enforcement rangers responded around 2 a.m. last Sunday to an incident involving a person with a firearm at one of the park's backcountry campsites. Another reason not to go camping, children. While the park did not release any additional information, a camper named Brad Ginn told News 2 that he and his girlfriend were there at the time. Ginn said, the two went to sleep around 11 p.m., woke up around 1 a.m. to people shining flashlights on their tent. The couple exited their tent to find a man and his young son approaching. According to Ginn, the man explained that something had destroyed his campsite. They kept hearing strange sounds, so he was going to investigate, because this was Bigfoot country.
Is Mammoth Cave Bigfoot country?
I was there last year. I do not remember it being Bigfoot country. It's Nessie country.
I thought Bigfoot country was the Pacific Northwest.
Not always.
I mean, I could see maybe spreading from there.
If you
a
went
little
back to
bit,
episode 45 and listen to our interview with the Bigfoot hunter, he will tell you that it's all over. And Ohio is a great breeding ground for them.
but we're talking Mammoth Cave, Kentucky.
Well, they got lost. Jinn's girlfriend claims she heard the same sounds. Of course she did. The man reportedly showed the couple his gun and told them if they heard gunshots that they should run. Well, that's a great sign. Jinn and his girlfriend returned to their tent and said about 5 to 10 minutes later they heard at least one gunshot. Man and his son returned to the couple's tent and stated that Bigfoot had emerged from the woods and approached them, so he fired his weapon. All Bigfoot needed was a cup of sugar. And that's all he was asking for.
I thought he just wanted beef jerky.
I thought it was tree fitty.
Sugar. Bam! Get the fuck away! Oh my god! I'm just asking
It's
for
coming
sugar.
right for us.
I think he's kneeling down taking a poop. Shoot him! Shoot him! Despite the bizarre circumstances, Jinn said he and his girlfriend immediately packed up and left the campsite.
Someone's shooting, yeah. Even if you know who it is, I still don't want bullets be flying around me.
Incident remains under investigation by park law enforcement. So that is what not to do when you see Bigfoot, is shoot him right away. Of course, if you did, you would get a lot... Here's my thing.
I saw Strange Wilderness. They shot Bigfoot right away when
No,
they
he
saw
did.
him.
He hung himself. God, that movie.
It's such a bad movie, but funny.
The ending is funny. Yeah, so here's my thing. I get that Bigfoot, is supposedly in all these woods. How come nobody can ever fucking take a good picture?
It's always blurry.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the...
It's his superpower that you can't capture him on film
It
without
captures-
it being blurry.
Unless
messes
it's a
up.
TV show. I mean, Bigfoot had a starring role in the old $6 million Man
yeah.
series.
I think that was a fake Bigfoot.
Lies.
Lies.
I think it was.
The one out in the woods? That's a fake Bigfoot, too. Okay?
Isn't Chewbacca based on Bigfoot?
I'm glad you said that. Did you know, this is from Nisi, #1 listener. Well, no, she isn't. Nope, no, she isn't.
Oh, she's our number one listener.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're right. #1 fan is Doug.
Yeah, he's just a fan, not a listener.
Nisi said that back a little fun fact is with Chewbacca in Return of the Jedi, they had to have people surround him during the scenes in orange vests so hunters did not shoot him because they were mistaking him
In
for Bigfoot.
the Moon of Endor?
Oh, yes.
In the forest?
That would have been funny. I killed Bigfoot. That's just Peter Mayhew.
And his babies. No, those are Wookiees. Or those are
Ewoks.
Ewoks.
Never said the word Ewok in a Star Wars movie.
Really?
There you go.
So,
The
anyways,
only reason we know they're called Ewoks is from the action figures.
it's kind of like back to the grainy picture. It's kind of like aliens. Like in this day and age,
And the Ewok Adventure Ship, but that don't count.
My phone takes better pictures than any camera has in the last 20 years. How come nobody can ever get a good picture? Jeff, do you think Bigfoot's alive?
I don't think Bigfoot was ever alive.
Do you think he's real?
No.
Blake?
No.
Okay. Just asking.
I mean, I'm trying to play along here, but no, I can't.
Oh, yes.
No.
Yes, and?
The reason you
yeah.
don't see the dead ones is
Grr.
because they bury them.
The reason you don't see the dead ones is when they die, they disintegrate.
Oh. So maybe they're friends of Thanos.
Hands of fate.
True.
Thanos? Anyways,
Yes.
we'll do that one next time.
Actually, they turn into Trents, Jason.
Trenches?
No.
Oh.
Ants.
Ants.
Ants. They
jeez.
turn into ants.
I'm an ant.
There you go.
Tenant.
That would be cool if they turned into ants.
That would be.
Just saying.
You know, stationary trees are just dead ends.
My daughter was watching Pocahontas, the Disney cartoon this week, and she's like, that tree talks. I was like, it's an ent. You would be proud. She didn't get it. Anyways,
But she will when she watches Lord of the Rings in 8 years.
80. She's not watching it in my household.
She doesn't have to watch it with you. I'll hook it up so she can watch it in her own bedroom or something.
Anyway, stay out of young girls' bedrooms,
not
Jeff.
I'm not going into her bedroom.
Danger zone. Anyways, Tenet is the new film from Christopher Nolan, which is set to premiere in 2020, and received his first teaser trailer before the sci-fi epic Hobbs and Shaw. Unfortunately, fans of Nolan's work will only have two ways of seeing the trailer: buy a ticket for Hobbs and Shaw, and then leave, or wait for a Blu-ray release of Tenet, as Nolan has stated the trailer will only be in theaters and not on any other media.
Will it be in front of other movies or only Hobbs
I think
and
it'll be
Shaw?
in front of other movies.
Okay, so I don't have to go to Hobbs and Shaw to see
Correct.
it. Okay.
The best thing is that there's stills online, but pretty much any teaser trailer online was taken down within an hour. Like Sony or whoever was doing it went on and got them all. An action epic evolving from the world of international espionage. That's the official description. Per online leaks, the synopsis reads: John David Washington, the actor, examines bullet holes in the double pane glass and moves away from them. This is the synopsis for the trailer. It cuts. Sorry, let me change the page.
Cuts away.
And then back to Washington. It's the same shot, subtly different, but the movements are the same. It's like he rewound a little bit between the shots. So they think that time, like he can go back in time.
It's,
Blake's favorite thing.
Yay.
More is one of those things where the guy probably sees like all the different potential things like 6 seconds ahead of time, and then can choose which way to go.
Well,
Like a Peter Tingle?
Like the Peter Tingle.
more than a few have noted that Nolan's Inception movie has been mentioned in describing Tenet. Rumor is Tenet may deal with the time continuum in some fashion. Taking that further, it just might tie in with the mind-bending movie Inception.
Inception wasn't time travel, though.
Well, it's going into the
Or
brain.
time continue. Yeah, but
And
other than each step you went in, time lasted longer,
Mm-hmm.
but...
In 2010, Nolan did an interview and said he was interested in expanding the cinematic universe of Inception through a video game. Nothing happened with that, but they did make 2 Inception prequel comics. They were called The Cobell Job and Big Under.
I might have to look through those. I'd never heard of them.
They cover missions leading directly into the movie and giving a little more depth to that world. The connection between Inception and Tenet is as follows. In Inception, Nolan's son, Magnus Nolan, plays the young version of Cobb's son, Leonardo DiCaprio. The rumor is that Tenet follows Cobb's 2 kids from Inception and will be played by Elizabeth Debicki and Robert Pattinson. What makes this rumor juicy is that Michael Caine is the movie, so he could be playing the same role as Inception, or he's just playing every role.
Or Michael Caine is in a Christopher Nolan film. He could be playing Alfred Pennyworth, too.
Ooh. It's a Batman. That's what it is. It's with the Clock King. That's what this is about. Oh, how great would that be if everybody would go thinking this is a new epic from Nolan. It's like, hey, I'm Batman. It's a 1960s Batman with the Clock King. Anyways,
There
description.
was a 1960s Batman at Gen Con.
Really?
Yeah, with the big bomb
Yeah.
running around.
Running around with the bomb.
Sometimes you just
Oh, yeah.
can't get rid of one.
Can I just make a note? If we're going to see people at Comic Expo in the old Batman
Yeah.
get up,
Don't bring a bomb.
yeah, well, you bring it on. It's still pretty good. Spider-Man. There are a lot of Spider-Man outfits.
Yeah.
Wear a jockstrap
Wear a dance belt or
yeah.
something.
or a codpiece.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree
There are
with
some people running around there. You're like, dude,
it. Yeah.
dude,
Deadpool gets that too.
yeah.
There's a lot of Deadpools with
yeah.
that. Let's see here. The taglines are "Time has come for a new protagonist," and "Time has come for a new kind of mission." So there you go. Before getting an official title, the project was rumored to be called Merry-Go-Round. No one really knows that significance.
Well, merry-go-round sounds like it'd be a time-related thing. You do the same thing over and 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 over again.
Would you like to see an Inception sequel?
No.
Okay. Would you see Tenet if it is found that it is a set?
I will see it, but I mean, I don't think I need to watch more about the world, especially about the family of Cobb. Maybe
Because
I
it takes,
told the story already. So
I mean, it
there's
takes
nothing-
place 20-something years later.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be something different. I mean, if all they're doing is going back into dreams or something or whatnot.
The one thing I read online, one of the rumors was that Washington is investigating crimes of the people that go into the dreams, and then when they come back out, he's trying to arrest them in that because they're finding stuff out throughout history. Then somehow they're connected through history and all that.
So they're dream thieves.
Yeah, pretty much. So there's your thing.
I might not be. Maybe. I don't know.
I trust Nolan. Of course, I never saw Dunkirk.
I still get to see Dunkirk, too.
I saw it.
Did you like it?
It was okay.
Yeah.
I was expecting more,
That's what a lot of people
and I was
say.
a little disappointed from it, but it was still a good movie.
Did you see Inception? Not Inception. Interstellar.
Yes,
Did you like it?
it was okay.
I really liked
It
it.
got a little too far for me, but it was still okay.
It was a little long,
Yes,
It was very long.
yes.
but I enjoyed it.
I
a
did
lot.
like the concept of the time travel and everything else and all that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did. Like it.
Every second we're down here for an hour
Yeah.
of real time. We're like, holy shit, get out of there.
I like when they miscalculated, so they
Yeah.
thought, oh, we'll go up and he'll be up there for a couple months, and he's up there for 20 years.
Where were you?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do some promos.
Do you ever wonder when Spider-Man goes to the bathroom if the toilet paper sticks to his fingers?
Do you ever wonder why Superman wears his underwear outside of his pants?
My name is Imran.
My name is Anthony,
He's the Jock.
and he's the nerd.
And we're your hosts for the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we sometimes try to attempt to answer these questions.
This is a full spoiler podcast, and we swear a lot.
Check it out for awesome geek news, interviews, and comic book reviews. Visit jockandnerd.com. We are your superhero TV, movies, and comic book culture curators.
Boom.
Jockandnerd.com. Jock and Nerd.
That music is top 5. This week is top 5 movies that couldn't be made today. Just because of PC culture or they're just not that, they're a little rough.
Oh, that's
They
what
wouldn't be
you
acceptable.
meant.
What did you think?
Oh, I thought 2001: A Space Odyssey couldn't be made today because it's in the past.
Number 5 for me. Song of the South. From Disney. About African American working on a plantation.
That's my number 3.
That could not be made today. I don't care what Doug says. Cannot be made today. Yes, it was after the Civil War.
So there's
Still
going to be
doesn't make-
no live action?
No, it's not going to be on Disney Plus.
Just because it can't be made today doesn't mean you're not allowed to watch it for the historical significance.
Okay. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is any movie starring Kevin Spacey. I Hobied that shit.
No K-Pax 2. I'm really upset by that.
You just can't put Kevin Spacey in a movie today. Can't be made.
Was he really? You can put him in a closet.
He's
he
been in that for many years. Come on.
Was he really an alien in K-Pax? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the it's ambiguous. That's what makes it so great.
Blake, what's number 5?
My number 5 is Police Academy.
That's a good one.
You can't make it with the, cops.
That's a funny movie.
stereotypes.
You know what? I've
Blue
grown to like
Oyster.
that movie a lot more.
It is.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's good.
The whole series is great. Just ask Besotted Geek.
Yeah. The first one's okay.
I like the second one.
Well, that's because you're a big Bobcat Goldthwait
Oh, sweet Chuck.
fan. Tim Kazurinsky.
What's number 4?
My number 4, Revenge of the Nerds.
It's a good one.
See,
Well, there is.
I'm going to say
some questionable.
Revenge of the Nerds can be made with tweaks. You would have to remove
You
about
would
2
have-
scenes.
Which 2 scenes?
I'll guess the rape scene
Well, yeah.
and the spying invasion on the girl's privacy scene.
Correct, and maybe a little bit of a toning down of the stereotypes because a lot of people would find those very offensive.
Did you make a list, or are you just copying someone's?
No,
I just realized.
no,
No.
I'm coming off the top of my head with these.
Number 4 for me, or Jeff, what's
no.
number 4?
My number 4 is Soul Man.
Oh yeah, tell us what that is.
That's the one where C. Thomas Howell.
Time out. You could just stop there. C. Thomas Howell should not make a film nowadays.
Damn it! You got one of my 2 number 2s.
Oh
Soul Man, yeah, you can't do Soul Man nowadays.
no, yeah, C. Thomas Howell pretty much does blackface so he can get a minority scholarship to go to school.
Yeah.
You can't make that movie now.
You shouldn't have made that movie when they made
should
it.
have made it in the first place. Absolutely right.
My number 4
Horrible.
is The Toy.
Richard Pryor, Jackie
Damn it!
Gleason.
That was one of my number 3s.
Shut up, Blake. They basically buy
You
him.
can't have a little white boy owning him.
No. You can't have a white kid
African-American.
owning an African American.
No.
Or anybody.
Even if it's Richard Pryor and it's funny. But actually, no, that movie really wasn't.
it wasn't
Yeah,
funny.
that was a sad effort.
You know
on Richard
why?
Pryor's
Because
part.
Jackie Gleason.
Well, no,
Chicken soup for the soul.
that's Jackie Mason.
That's
Damn it!
Jesus
I
Christ.
thought by now you would remember. There's a difference.
Sure wasn't Jackie Mason?
It was Jackie Gleason.
Sure.
Yes.
I remember
It was
vividly.
Gleason.
I remember vividly. I'm not bullshitting. That Jackie Mason was in that.
To the moon, Jason.
Can't guarantee he might have been somewhere else in it, but he.
I thought he was
play-
the lead star.
No.
To the moon.
The fuck movie was I thinking of? Anyways, my number 3, I kind of hobied it. All the Mel Brooks films.
Wow, that's a Hobie.
Yeah.
Damn it, you got my other number 3.
You can't make a lot of those. Dracula Dead and Lovin' It shouldn't have been made when it was.
Well, no. Life stinks. Terrible.
Robin Hood, not good.
But could Robin Hood and Men in Tights not be made today?
No, that probably could.
I'm thinking
I think-
the Mel Brooks ones from the 60s and 70s.
the good
maybe.
ones.
Well, you can make Young Frankenstein today.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Oh, they have a roll in the hay. Frau Blucher.
Jeff, what's your number 3?
My number 3 was Song of the South.
Okay. Number 3 for you, Blake?
My number 3, I Hobie that shit, but you guys already took them out. It was Blazing Saddles and the Toy.
What's your number 2?
My number 2, I got 2 number 2s. You took Soul Man,
Oh,
but the other one is Freebie and the Bean.
What is that?
Look it up.
No, Blake, I want you to explain what it is.
No,
What is it, Blake?
look it up.
No, what is it?
Look it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, what's your number 2, Jeff?
My number 2 is Birth of a Nation.
That's my number 1.
That was my number 1.
I didn't realize I was very close to Dev's list, and I didn't even look at his list until just now.
Until Blake read it off to you, you mean?
Yes. Birth of a Nation you could not do nowadays.
Yeah, no, I mean...
No.
Birth of a Nation is terrible in its...
Most of
Just
everything.
stop. Just say it's terrible. It's terrible.
It was groundbreaking in film techniques,
It was.
which is... I saw it in a film study class.
So did I.
And
Do you think they would show that in film study
No.
class these days?
I don't think you would
They
even
did
watch
in the 90s when I did,
Well,
early 2000.
you would have to have like trigger warnings.
it was-
how
Oh,
fast.
it was definitely prefaced
Yeah.
before we saw it.
Holy
yes.
moly!
I think ours was that if you did not want to see it, you didn't have to.
Yeah.
Is I think what my college was.
Hey, you know, college is all about censorship nowadays, anyways, and suppression of freedom of thought and ideas.
Down the hall.
So you know,
You had 45 minutes to talk. You chose to talk about fucking trees. That's not literally fucking trees. That is your call. You're done.
Speaking of fucking trees, get the tree app on your phone.
Tree app sponsored by Hobie.
Anyways,
Put your digital porn in the digital tree.
I thought you were going to say put your digital dick in the put your digital dick in the digital tree.
Oh, digital dick and digital
Nope,
tree.
not a
for
title.
And now Apple won't carry us anymore.
That's right, we're on Zune. Number 2 for me is Heathers. That
Yeah.
Jason C. Brown was talking about that last time he was on.
Well, they were trying to do the television show, and
Yep.
then they pretty much can't do.
Yep.
They had to cancel that.
Did you see 13 Reasons Why? They took out the suicide scene.
Yeah.
I did not.
2 years later, but they did.
Yeah.
So much for that.
Well, God, but now I don't want to bother watching it.
It is
ruin the art.
It is
Go
a-
ahead, ruin the.
it's a
whole
pretty
thing.
heavy scene.
It is.
Well, but
and
I
it was
mean,
intentionally be
yes,
heavy.
I know.
And that was the whole point. Wasn't to glamorize it? The whole point was to
I
make
see-
you say that's don't do that.
I really do see both sides of it.
Teenage suicide, don't do it. Come on, Heathers tells you right there in their song.
And anyways, moving on, lighter subject. Number 1, Birth of a Nation. Jeff, what's your number 1?
My number 1 is Triumph of the Will.
Which one is that?
That is the Leni Riefenstahl Nazi propaganda film.
There you go. Okay. Really.
Leni Riefenstahl, apparently, beautiful cinematography, great filmmaker, did a bunch of movies about Nazis are great.
Yeah, according to Mark Schott, they did build roads.
Well, they did. Mark Schott isn't the only one who agrees that they built roads.
and Volkswagens.
Did they build the aqueducts?
no, that was the Rome.
Oh, my bad. That's why in Back to the Future, they didn't need roads because they wanted to get the hell away from the Nazis. Where we are going, we don't need roads. Blake, what's your number
I thought it
1?
was the Libyans they were trying to
was
get away
Birth of
from.
a
It was.
Birth of the Nation.
Birth of a Nation. Okay. Honorable mentions, I had The Conqueror with John Wayne playing Genghis Khan. And it was a love story, too.
You could probably do the Conqueror again. You just can't do John Wayne. Honestly, honorable mention, I had almost all John Wayne movies.
Okay, there you go.
All his Cowboys and Indians movies.
Yes. I also had any film kids get left home alone. You know why? Because it's called a cell phone now.
Oh, we were talking about that. Yeah, it's like, any horror movie where you can just use the phone to get out of the
There's no
situation.
reception.
Yeah, there's no reception
Yeah, there you go.
in my house where I've been
You're in a
living
you're in a
using the
Verizon
phone.
Down by the river, my AT&T doesn't cover this area.
You're in the AT&T store. There's no reception.
Yeah, ironic, isn't it?
Hold on, I have reception, but I'm throttled. I can't get my text out.
Any honorable mentions for you, Blake?
Airplane, 16 Candles, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Midnight Express, Smoking the Bandit.
Okay.
So what? Are we like anti Jackie Gleason here?
Jackie Mason.
Smokey the Bandit, the sheriff, Jack Gleason. No way, sir.
Anyway,
Just because he says a lot of terrible things, he's the villain.
And the worst part is when they censor on regular TV. You're just like,
well,
why
you
is
can't
this movie
watch on
so
TV.
great?
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible.
could you make Bad News Bears? They tried.
Well, they did remake it, and it wasn't as
They
good.
failed.
I mean, just because, little kids can't be around beer,
Yeah, that's bullshit.
you can't drink and drive. Jeez.
Damn the man.
Hey, you can't pimp out your ex-wife's daughter. Oh, wait, hold on.
Glad you finished that sentence. Anyways, Dev had a couple movies.
Oh, he did?
Yes, he did.
Pray tell.
Let's see
What
here.
were they?
He had Police Academy, Revenge of the Nerds, Blazing Saddles and the Toy. He OB'd that shit. Soul Man and Freebie and the Bean. Look it up. Birth of a Nation. Honorable mention: The Jerk.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Oh.
Let's see here. Sean, Pittsburgh Nerd.
Oh, what does Sean say?
Oh, no, he's probably throwing out the Reds. Let's see here. He had Airplane. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I thought they did. It was called Soul Plane.
No, Soul Plane was terrible. No.
16 Candles.
Oh, I heard that one mentioned.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit? You know why they shouldn't remake that?
Because it wasn't a good movie.
It was not a good movie. Midnight Express.
Was that the
Robert De Niro.
Charles Grodin?
Yeah.
Why can't you remake that one?
I don't know.
Oh.
Number 1, Smokey and the Bandit.
What? You can't do Smokey and the Bandit?
Jason Feinberg had John Waters' Pink Flamingos.
See, that one should never have been made in the first place anyway, so...
John
Waters
I
is-
remember I actually stumbled across that without knowing what it was. I was watching, like, what the fuck is this? And then years later, it's like, oh, John Waters, Pink Flamingos. I'm like, oh my God, that was what I was watching? It was horrible.
Yeah, John Waters was experimental to be nice.
Let's see. Kevin, since the Explorer had Heavyweights,
Because you can't make fun of fat kids.
Gone with the Wind.
Because you can't...
It's a crappy show. Number
Because
3.
you can't show historical South with servants in it that are of color.
You know what? This
Even
is-
though, she won an Oscar
Oh, at
for
least
that
from
role,
the
didn't she?
Southerner's point of
Yeah,
view.
she won an Oscar for that role.
Hattie McDaniel did, yes.
Yeah, and then she wasn't allowed to accept it
Yeah.
because of the bullshit bigotry
Yes.
back then.
It was fucking bullshit.
It is bullshit.
Hey, you're great. Here's your
Great,
award.
Here's your award. Oh, by the way, back room for you.
Yeah,
Yeah, and this is California. This isn't like we're
Yeah.
talking the South here.
Like Alabama.
We're not talking Green Book country here.
I'm not talking Alabama.
Well, we're not allowed to talk about Alabama anymore. We got a restraining order
Yeah.
That's right.
from
So-
the state of Alabama.
So, anyways, I will say the state of Al, and then his last name is Bama. They can go suck it. Let's see.
Alabama?
Yes.
With that one tooth.
Number 3. This is a good one. I didn't think of this one. Porky's. That's a good one.
Yeah, can't do that.
Can't do that.
Well, can you not do American Pie then? Because that's pretty much Porky's for the next generation.
Yeah, a little bit more subtle. Because he's fucking a pie and not prostitutes.
Well, that upsets the vegans.
It was an apple pie, too. Number 2, Soul Man. Number 1, Blazing Saddles. Honorable mentions, Borat.
Borat, that was just 10, 12 years ago.
The Jerk. Airplane. Revenge of the Nerds. And Just One of the Guys.
I like that movie.
Oh, you were the one.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
God, just one of the guys. You mean a movie based on Shakespeare?
Yeah.
Could you, remake
can't redo that?
Could you make White Chicks again? With
You
the Wayans?
shouldn't.
No.
They're talking about making a sequel. You know that.
Oh my God.
Hackney. Intern. Hackney. He had The Ringer.
Oh, yeah. Johnny
Late-
Knoxville. Well, Johnny Knoxville shouldn't be making movies anyway.
Ladybugs. She's the Man. Freddy Got Fingered. That should have never been made. And Blazing Saddles. Let's see
Yeah,
here.
Ladybugs. The kids used to watch that because they were soccer players.
Yeah, but you're having a guy dress up as a girl so the girls' team could be good. Was that the gist of that movie?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Anyways. So there you go. There's your top 5 for the week. Bad idea of the week. Number 5,289. Giving Blake a microphone to talk Dungeons and Dragons uncensored. Welcome to your...
All right, I've got this 5-minute story. 45 minutes later.
Story time. Danger zone. Danger zone. Anyways, thanks for listening. We appreciate it. We'll be back to our regular format next week.
We might actually answer listener questions next week.
Yes.
Well, we answered my listener question when I said, Blake, how was Gen Con?
Yeah, good job. Good job. So there you go. And Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
This story may not make any sense. Tell it to us anyway. So sit back and relax. Story time with Blake.
Addendum! I've come for your soul.
Well, I was just going to do a nice even flow addendum, but no.
Give me
you
your
have to go-
soul.
Okay.
So I was at Gen Con this week, and let me explain. So I met this one guy. He knows all about Pathfinder. And so in Pathfinder, they have big swords and big axes and big hands. Like ape hands.
Oh, so Ape Hands was inspired by Pathfinder or vice versa?
Vice versa.
Oh,
Vice
okay.
versa. Anyways, addendum, titles for the show. Jeff, what you got?
Let's see. I only got a couple here, but Pay by the Stroke.
Done. Okay, what else?
Don't leave your drinks unattended. Because Blake had his...
No, I get
wedding
it.
and didn't-
That sounds creepy.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to sound creepy. That was the point.
I have Don't Let Jeff Into Your Daughter's Bedroom.
But, Bigfoot got lost. And Facts O Life. Facts with a Z O Life.
Oh, I get it. I got Looks Like a Potato and Pay by the Stroke. Blake?
Sure.
You're going to let us
did I-
use Pay by the Stroke?
No.
'Cause
Did I
I'm
mention,
fine with that.
Did I mention how I'm finally happy that the Fez craze at Gen Con is finally over with?
Well, that was, what, 2 doctors ago? So
Oh, God. Those are
Like the
finally
70s show? People were
No.
dressed up like Fez?
done. No, Fez hats.
the hat.
Oh,
the
oh,
Fez.
Everybody's wearing Fez hats a
I
couple
think-
years
was
ago.
it the Matt Smith Doctor Who wore a Fez hat?
You had 45 minutes. You're done with your talk.
I forgot about
I
that.
said shut up.
Oh, there are a lot of dude Thors there.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of dude Thors. Yeah.
From the Big Lebowski
yeah,
Avengers.
a lot of Lebowski Avengers, yeah.
Okay, anyways, Looks Like a Potato?
Oh, we're not doing Pay by the Stroke?
You think that would be... Okay.
I don't know. You're the one that usually outlaws them, so if you're not opposed to it, I'm fine with it.
We may want to not do that one.
Faxo Life.
I don't like that one as much.
But it's your show.
anyways, what was your other one?
Bigfoot got lost?
Oh,
No.
I like It Looks Like a Potato.
Eh. I know I said it, but
Wear a codpiece.
I'm paying by the stroke then for that one. Smells like latte?
So we're paying it by the stroke, it sounds like.
Change approved.
You've been listening to Hobie.